to remain a U.S. NATO ally. Fox's Simon Owen has the update live.
Dave, Turkey saying it and Russia have begun conducting joint military patrols in northeastern Syria, the region where U.S. forces had been working with Turkish partners until President Trump pulled them back last month. The new patrols are part of a deal to stop Turkey's offensive against Syrian Kurds. Kurdish fighters are required to pull back around 20 miles from the Turkish border. These patrols are aimed at enforcing that. Dave?
Simon, President Trump keeps calling the push for his impeachment a witch hunt and a hoax, telling the Nigel Farage radio show in Britain.
The Democrats are desperate. They're desperate. They have nothing.
After the House passed a resolution moving the process forward in the probe into his Ukraine phone call, Speaker Nancy Pelosi says,
"What is at stake in all of this is nothing less than our democracy."
No Republicans voted in favor of the resolution. Halloween horror just before midnight in Orinda, California. Shots fired at a house party. Fox 2 in San Francisco is reporting 4 people are dead. In Chicago,
shots fired in Little Village. Windows shattered as people started running from the scene. A 7-year-old girl was shot in the neck and chest. She was with her parents trick-or-treating. She was not the intended target. Chicago police tell us they are looking for 3 males.
And that's Tia Ewing with Fox 32 TV in Chicago. Wildfire fighters spend the night battling a new blaze in Ventura County, California. It's charred 8,000 acres.
Now 7,500 people are under mandatory evacuations, but the good news is firefighters believe that this fire is going to run out of fuel and have a maximum footprint of 12,000 acres.
Fox's Ray Bogan in San Bernardino, where a fire that burned down 6 homes is better contained. America's listening to Fox News.
Skies are cloudy. We have 34 degrees. We have 24 degrees at 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. This year's Halloween, the snowiest on record in Chicago. National Weather Service says 3.4 inches of snow fell in the city yesterday, more in the suburbs. That shatters the daily record for October 31st, set back in 2014. Yesterday, also the second heaviest October calendar day snowfall, just behind 3.8 inches that fell in October of 1989. This morning, a 7-year-old girl is fighting for her life after she was shot while trying to trick-or-treat in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. Police say the girl was walking with other trick-or-treaters last night in the 3700 block of West 26th Street when someone nearby began shooting at others. That child this morning, after being struck by that stray bullet, remains in critical condition. Chicago Public Schools students returning to class today after missing 11 days because of a teachers' strike. The work stoppage came to an end yesterday after the CTU and Mayor Lightfoot agreed that only 5 days of the 11 lost to the strike will be made up and paid out to teachers.
In the interest of our students and our parents who have been suffering, it was important to me to make sure that we got our kids back in class. Enough is enough.
That agreement took place as the CTU's governing body approved that tentative agreement with CPS on a 5-year deal. The district needs to figure out when the makeup days will be added to the calendar. This morning, an Ohio man accused of claiming to be a missing Aurora boy, Timothy Pitson, has been declared competent to stand trial. Brian Reaney was found competent by a judge yesterday afternoon. He entered Kentucky earlier this year and claimed to authorities he was the missing Aurora boy, who now would be 14. The 23-year-old admitted the truth when confronted with DNA results. Brian Reaney faces up to 8 years in prison. A Palatine man is pleading not guilty after being charged with driving an SUV through Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg in September. Javier Garcia entered that not guilty plea yesterday in Cook County Court. Garcia will undergo a mental health exam. The fate of a Chicago police officer charged with murdering a man on the Northwest Side in 2017 is now in the hands of a Cook County judge. The trial of Officer Lowell Hauser concluded yesterday. Prosecutors say Hauser was off duty when he shot and killed Jose Nieves in the Hermosa neighborhood. A judge will issue the ruling on December 20th. 5:04 on AM 560 and other news we're following. Illinois' vaping death toll is rising with a link to marijuana. The Illinois Department of Public Health yesterday saying a third person has died after getting sick from vaping. The Department of Health says more than 80% of those who've gotten sick have vaped marijuana. A teenager is dead after being struck by a CTA train in Chicago's Loop. Police say the 18-year-old man died after being struck by a train at the Harrison station. Investigators believe the man's injuries were self-inflicted. A man is in critical condition after falling from a balcony in Chicago's Loop. Police say the man fell last night from a third-floor balcony to the basement level of a venue in the 100 block of North State. President Trump is again broaching the idea of freeing former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich from prison, where he is serving 14 years for corruption. Wall Street Journal reporting that the president asked for a show of hands during a fundraiser at the Trump Hotel here in Chicago of those who supported clemency for the 62-year-old Democrat. Cited several at Monday's event as saying most attendees raised their hands. In spite of the impromptu survey, there is no groundswell of support in this state for the Blagojevich early release. Several GOP congressmen at the fundraiser completely opposed the idea. Bulls will try to get back on track when they host the Pistons later tonight. Blackhawks visit the Kings tomorrow night. White Sox trade away Wellington Castillo to the Rangers in exchange for a minor leaguer, Jonah McReynolds. Bears hit the road to play the Eagles on Sunday. College football tomorrow, Illinois and Rutgers, and our Northern Illinois Huskies will battle Central Michigan with a kick time of 11 a.m. on AM 560 from snowy Mount Pleasant. The news service of Indeed.com, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners post job openings, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. 5:07, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager sees the cheapening of words.
This impeachment stuff is beyond belief. Remember, the left cheapens everything. Impeachment means nothing now. Impeachment means we don't like the last election results. That's what it means. It used to mean you actually committed serious crimes.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
The average commute in America is about 25 minutes. And if you spend more of that time on a train, bus,
next stop, Lake Street,
or bike, Allstate has good news. Pay per mile car insurance is here.
On your left.
Because if you drive less, you should pay less. Now get the same reliable coverage and hands-on expertise you'd expect from Allstate, but at a price that's tailored to the miles you drive.
The doors are now closing.
Call your local Allstate agent and start paying what's right for you. Prices daily and per mile rate, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. And right now, get your first online visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/joy. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. forhims.com/joy.
You've heard about the great need for workers in the skilled trades. There are many well-paying opportunities today for young people just out of high school and even college. One of those opportunities is with Woodland Windows and Doors, a major operation with a 50-year history providing customers with quality windows and doors from the initial sale to service and installation. Woodland is experiencing growth in their business and are eager to hire both individuals with experience in window and door installation and those willing to learn the trade and work together with their skilled craftsmen. The Woodland tradition is hard work, integrity, and respect for others while providing their valued customers with the service they expect and deserve. They offer competitive wages based on experience, along with paid vacation, paid holidays, 401k, several health insurance plans to choose from, and a company truck. Woodland Windows and Doors has full-time work available now. If you're on the path to the vision of the trades, skilled in carpentry, or willing to learn, call 630-869-1450 or visit woodlandwindows.com.
When a company is ready to grow, it's important to have the right partner to support that growth. Choose a team backed by 100-plus years of combined experience in the staffing industry and the most trusted staffing service supplier. Choose Unistaff. Unistaff's flexible staffing solutions can help your business fill temporary, temp-to-perm, or direct hire employment and make the hiring process cost-effective and efficient. For temporary placement to handle specialty products requiring specific skill sets, workflow fluctuations, or to save on hire costs, Unistaff has the talent ready to take on the challenge. They can also connect you with their talented associates to provide temporary positions with the potential of full-time placement. And for direct hire, you know finding the right employee can be an unexpected, time-consuming task. Leading corporations partner with Unistaff to gain access to top candidates in a wide spectrum of industries specific to their needs. Focus on growing your business. Call Unistaff to handle the rest. Go to unistaffjobs.com. That's unistaffjobs.com.
This is Dan Frio with the Mortgage Update. The Fed did it again and helped push mortgage rates to yet another historic low. So are you holding off refinancing your home because you think rates may go even lower? Well, let me make your decision even easier. Let's refinance you now and take advantage of this opportunity. If rates drop more than 0.5% in the next 24 months, I will refinance you at the lower rate at no closing costs. Other lenders state that they'll refinance you, but watch out for the fine print. So if you have a conventional loan that's over 4.75 or FHA or VA loan over 4.5, you have nothing to lose and thousands to save. So find out how much you can save. Just pick up the phone to call me personally. That's 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-LOAN. Or find me on the web at windmortgage.com.
Parkside Lending, LLC is an Illinois residential mortgage licensee and an equal housing lender. NMLS 176162.
This is Jerry Boyer of Town Hall Finance for townhall.com. Recently, candidate Elizabeth Warren proposed a wealth tax, which is a tax on wealth that has already been earned, taxed, and saved. This sounded historically familiar to me, so I talked to my friend Amity Schlaze, a renowned economic historian and author of The Forgotten Man, A History of the Great Depression. She confirmed to me that under the New Deal there were indeed several wealth taxes. The result of this general war on business and war on wealth was what she labeled, quote, the depression within the depression, that brutal period from 1937 to 1938 when unemployment still over 10% shot back up even higher. The anti-business attitude of the New Deal prolonged, and she said, quote, put the great in Great Depression, no doubt about it, end quote. A wealth tax? We've been there, done that, crashed the economy. This is one experiment that we'd be fools to try again. I'm Jerry Boyer.
Sponsored by ADF, Alliance Defending Freedom.
Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist this morning, Steve Williams.
A winter weather advisory in effect today. Clouds, breezy and cold. Some snow and rain at times this morning. Snow this afternoon, according to an inch accumulation, high 34. Clear, windy and cold tonight, low 21. And then partly sunny, breezy and chilly tomorrow, the high 40. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
23 at O'Hare, 27 along the lakefront. It's 26 at Midway and 19 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Breaking news as it happens, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
Dr. David Kolbaba.
I know, the holiday season is coming right for us.
It's coming right for us!
Yep, but I got to tell you about our special holiday survival event. So you want to make this year better and lower the stress and strain of it all? Well, it just might be what the doctor ordered at our holiday survival event, where we're going to share some practical common sense strategies to make it all happen. We're going to cover it all. And of course, have some fun. And you'll leave this event with awesome alternatives, making for less stress and more fun this holiday season. So are you up for something special? It's our holiday survival event, Saturday afternoon, November the 9th. Call our Health Quest radio hotline to make your reservation. Call 800-794-1855. Make this holiday season something to remember on the positive side of things.
So live a life you will remember.
That's 800-794-1855. And remember to listen to Health Quest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, heard every Saturday morning at 11 right here on AM 560, The Answer. That's 800-794-1855.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retire Chicago. Tune in Saturday mornings at 8 to Retire Chicago with John McNamara of McNamara Capital.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So after all of the chest pumping and high-minded pronouncements, the result is Chicago teachers get more money.
Yep.
Chicago taxpayers necessarily pay more taxes, and the majority of kids return to a system to be mal-educated and left behind. You'll pardon me if I don't join in the celebration. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line. But at least Amy Amundsen will have the chance to get their brains beat in by Marmion.
Hey, no. The game is on because certain parents decided to facilitate the IHSA with Chicago Park District and Chicago Public Schools to prove that we had 3 practices, because normally if the strike ended today, we would never get the 3 practices in, but we were practicing, and so are these 17 other schools. So yes, we get to play tomorrow at 1 o'clock at Amundsen. First playoff home game in the school's history.
For our school history, this is the first time we're hosting our own playoff game. We have access to that, but now that we do, it's a relief. It feels amazing to finally go back to school, and even more to play Saturdays.
We just want to be able to take that opportunity that we've earned and play in the state playoffs.
We're finally back.
It's motivating, and at the same time, the heart's been waning for it.
The heart has been waning.
Yeah.
We have suffered.
Right. I understand. Clear eyes and full hearts can't lose. I got it. Here's the thing. And by the way, that was your Amundsen beat update.
Yeah.
We really like to localize stories. I mean, really, really localize them. I mean, really local.
All right. The question is, did Lori Lightfoot cave? Because clearly she did. She doesn't think she
Not
did,
much
though.
of a question.
No. This is like who won, who lost, Dan. There's no winners or losers, baby, in this thing.
Yeah, she doesn't keep score. She's operating a higher level. Jesse Sharkey and Lori Lightfoot after the deal was cut.
We refuse to even talk about this in terms of winning or losing.
Frankly, our members are still out there on the picket line today. And they don't need to see me smiling with the mayor when, in fact, what they need to see is they need to see that we have a tentative agreement. We now have a return to work agreement.
Yeah.
And so they finally compromised on 5 days. We have to make up 5 days, either at the end of the year, or those days can be made up during spring break, probably not Christmas break, or during Teacher Institute days.
A lot of tough talk that immediately turned into surrendering to the status quo from Lori Lightfoot.
Yeah, she surrendered again.
Nobody wins in a circumstance like this. We put a historic deal on the table. We've done, I think, very good things for our teachers, our staff, and for our students. But I don't think about this for wins for me personally.
No,
this has been a hardship.
It's been a hardship.
You can't think about it for wins for you personally because it isn't, so you have to rationalize it away. It's not a win for you personally. It's not a win for the city. As I just said, you caved at every turn, including with your opener. As we described, and then as I predicted yesterday on this show, she's just somebody who is. Here's the deal on Lori Lightfoot. As far as I can tell from her behavior,
yes,
she is content to be somebody. She's already got what she wants. She's gonna be recorded as having been the mayor of Chicago, and by ascending to the mayorship, she has given her comeuppance to all the people that ridiculed her throughout her childhood and into adulthood. Look, I am somebody, and that's all she's interested in being, which is the case with most politicians, particularly here. It's epitaph material if you're not self-dealing. I don't think she's in the personal enrichment business. It's epitaph material. It's status. She wants to be somebody. She's content to be somebody. She's happy to meet with Oprah. She's happy to meet with Obama. She's happy to be
She
seen.
met with Ivanka Trump.
She's happy to be seen as a significant person here. She is not interested in doing anything.
She was in way over her head.
Well, she is in over her head. She was, she is, she will continue to be.
Well, she thought if she threw money at CTU that they'd, oh yes, Lori, for sure. We'll we want 15. No, I'll give you 16. That everything would be fine. The money didn't matter.
She's, as it turns out with most prosecutors, she's not a leader. She's not a visionary. She's not a good administrator. There is no agenda. The agenda is fleeting, I am somebody. It's not enduring, I did something. That's how it's going to go.
Well, and it was so strange because even after this tentative deal was reached, CTU accused the mayor of being vindictive.
I just didn't feel like doing a celebration lap with the mayor right now. That's not what our members need to be looking at. That's not what the people of the city need to be seeing.
And our girl, Stacey Davis Gates.
In the history of return to work agreements, you are never docked these many days. And you all can check the information on this. We were pushed up against a wall. Our members want to return to work.
We had to go out and give up 6 days of pay to get a nurse in our school every day. That is not bitterness. We put our hearts into this every single day.
Yeah.
We just want a partner who can respect that.
Absolutely. Clear eyes, full hearts can't lose. Allison Eichhorn, this is an interesting Twitter thread. She apparently was somebody who was part of the negotiating team on the teacher side. I don't have the capacity to post much right now. I can say that while this strike has been the last 2 weeks of our members' lives, it's been the last 6 weeks of my life.
Oh.
We started bargaining nearly every day towards the end of September. So much of the team has sacrificed so much of their lives, their happiness, time with their family, and more. In the last 2 weeks, our 25,000 members have taken a risk and put their faith in our process. They went on a legal strike and called out the people in power for their support of a system that harms our students. She actually wrote illegal strike, but she meant legal. She's a teacher. They went on a legal strike, called out the people in power for their support of a system that harms our students. Every day they got on the picket lines at 6:30 in the morning.
How they suffered and sacrificed.
And advocated for students. They went all for our students. All,
nothing to do with our
period,
kids.
for, period, our, period, students, period. You want to know how much we talked about teacher pay at the bargaining table? Allison Eichhorn will tell you.
How much?
About 1/100th of the time that we talked about staffing and class size. I don't care what you think about public sector unions. Our teachers and support staff are, say it with me, are heroes. Heroes.
Yeah.
So here's to you, the heroes of CTU.
Harum.
Jordan in Forest Park.
Yeah, good morning. I think that Lori Lightfoot probably should have spent some money hiring a public relations firm to try to highlight the fact that, look, this is not General Motors and the UAW. We have no money. She should have had a press conference in August saying, where is this money going to come from that the CTU wants? Where's it going to come from?
She shouldn't have started the school year without a contract.
And try to pit the taxpayers against the teachers, and then highlight teacher salaries, teacher benefits against the average taxpayer. How about also the fact, this thing about not paying for the days on strike? Come on. She should have done that in August. Why did she wait until the strike was already going on? Come on. No. She's just totally inept at handling the whole thing.
Yeah, she didn't display strong leadership skills, that's for sure. But selfishly, I am so glad it's over. I even called the mayor's office yesterday because I'm a parent, I'm a taxpayer, and said, can you please compromise on 5? They want 10, she wants none, 5. And then Jesse Sharkey brought it down because our friend's the delegate and said, now he's down to 8. He's not going to move. It's got to be 8. And then eventually both sides
Chicago taxpayers love to get extorted. It's great. It's almost like you pretend that you matter. It's like you pretend that anybody's listening to you. One of the problems Lori Lightfoot had in doing anything that she should have done is she was starting from the same premises as CTU. You start from the same premise, you get the same conclusion. And that's what they got. Oh, back to Allison Eichhorn.
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah, our hero.
Right. Returning to our hero, Jesse said that he thinks we got all we could get. He said we took the tableware, we took the floorboards. A member gets up and says, well, this isn't $1 billion, so you need to go take the safe.
Oh, we were talking about that last night.
So tell me again how, Jesse Sharkey and Stacey Davis Gates, they're not representative of the teachers and they're or the teachers are victims here being strong-armed by a union that they don't really back and so on and so forth. That doesn't sound like how it was actually playing out among the negotiating team on CTU and with the interplay with their House of Delegates, a phrase I use very loosely in this context.
They're Teamster thugs. I mean, I covered Teamsters in Detroit. They're very similar in their behavior. The civil disobedience training, wanting to get arrested, making up issues, thinking that they can get more money out of another entity, getting arrested.
Yeah, I don't think the Teamsters were in the civil disobedience business. There was nothing civil about Teamsters having a disagreement. Jim on the north side.
Good morning. I don't know why anybody's surprised or shouldn't be surprised. The whole group of mayoral wannabes were just a collection of midgets. Lori Lightfoot doesn't have anything in her background to suggest she'd be able to handle a corporation or any organization that has the size and the financial responsibilities of the city of Chicago. And now we have this teachers union dictating public policy. Where's the surprise?
Thanks for the call, Jim.
Their whole goal was to push through their political agenda, and they succeeded.
Yeah, they've been succeeding for half a century, so why stop now? Ed in Oak Brook.
Yeah, you know what, Dan, yesterday you were talking about that she was going to fold on these 11 days.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that. So, you know what? They should have been paid because she's the one who wasted everybody's time. She caved in on everything. So this could have been really over in an hour if she would have just, admitted that she was just going to cave on everything. She's just a clown mayor. And guess what? She's going to take it out on the policeman when that contract comes up. You watch how she turns into a real snake then. Have a nice day.
Thanks for the call, Ed. Yeah, we'll get to what this means for police and fire after a while. But one other thing, too, since people will stop paying attention to Chicago public schools now in 3, 2, 1. No. Unless you have a kid in the school system.
Right, exactly.
But even then, I mean, I think.
And the kids I was with yesterday, when I said, God, the strike's over, like, yeah, we've heard that before. Sure it is. So, no, really, this time it's over.
Curriculum. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember what's supposed to go on in the schools? I know this is not part of any conversation.
No, they talked about it yesterday because I don't know if they have a test tomorrow when they come back to school. But the real curriculum conversation.
Yeah, a test is not curriculum. A test is assessing your ability to retain and understand the curriculum. So what's the curriculum? CPS CEO Janice Jackson, Ms. Jackson, if you're nasty, has announced, thanks to our partners at the Pulitzer Center, every CPS high school will receive 200 to 400 copies of the New York Times' 1619 Project this week as a resource to help reframe the institution of slavery and how we're still influenced by today, from the workforce management system created to harness enslaved labor and so on and so forth. The 1619 Project is academically fraudulent and tells, at best, half the story. And nobody's paying attention to that. So now you're going to gaslight the kids to be victims and to say they're still victims of something that happened 7 generations before them. You're not going to tell stories of black resilience and black success because victimization is your pathway to power. It's going to be a system that's driven by identity politics and terrible math, which I assume the Seattle math is racist curriculum will be the next thing to be incorporated by CPS. And as I said at the outset, we're back to paying higher prices to mal-educate 300,000 kids. Congratulations.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Termbusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
AM 560, The
Answer. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You know how all those police chiefs came to Chicago on Monday to bear first-person witness to Chicago's turnaround? It's not a city on fire. Violence is contained. So how does a 7-year-old girl dressed as a bumblebee get shot in the chest in Little Village yesterday, 5:38?
And later, we have a new Cook County State's Attorney's member, and it has to do with a dog. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
23 degrees. This year's Halloween, the snowiest on record in Chicago. 3.4 inches of snow fell in the city yesterday, shattering records. 7-year-old girl fighting for her life. She was shot while trick-or-treating in a bumblebee costume in the Little Village neighborhood in the 3700 block of West 26th Street. High winds expected to ease up in Southern California today. Fast-moving Maria fire is burning near Santa Paula, California. It's grown to more than 8,000 acres.
We still had a lot of equipment in Ventura County because of the Easy Fire. So what we did was we relocated a lot of that equipment over to this fire, and they're assisting us with this fire right now.
Ventura County Fire Captain Steve Kaufman. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Thursday's vote on the impeachment inquiry into President Trump, she says, is a sad thing for the country.
It's very sad. We don't want to impeach a president. We don't want the reality that a president has done something that is in violation of the Constitution.
Her opinion on CBS's Late Show with Stephen Colbert. New York Representative Lee Zeldin weighed in on yesterday's vote, saying Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee Adam Schiff, in his opinion, is refusing transparency.
Adam Schiff decided 2 days ago in his most recent rule change that in no way, shape, or form can you ask any question that has anything to do with the intelligence community.
Zeldin says Democrats are also witness coaching before hearings. American troops arriving in Syria, protecting oil fields from falling into the hands of ISIS. Army Lieutenant General Pat White.
Enduring defeat of ISIS mission that we have, the oil fields are contained inside of that.
First batch of armored vehicles pulled into the country's largest city this morning. 4 military installations will serve as a 5G technology testing ground for the Department of Defense. Pentagon announcing the bases were selected because of wireless infrastructure requirements and access needed to install the tech. Chicago Public School students are returning to class today after missing 11 days of school because of teachers walking picket lines. Illinois' vaping death toll is rising. The state still does not know exactly what is killing people, but the Department of Public Health says more than 80% of those who've gotten sick vaped marijuana. Bulls will try to get back on track when they host the Pistons tonight. 49ers are 8-0 after beating Arizona last night in Thursday night football. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity sees shady business in Washington.
What they're doing here is their little secret Soviet-style impeachment coup attempt. This is not how this process works. This kangaroo court. This is not a legitimate process. This inquiry is constitutionally invalid.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Come on, Al, read our latest fan mail.
Dear Al and Marty, you are the most spectacular car dealers of all time, especially Al.
Give me that. It's signed. Al totally didn't write this.
See, it's completely unbiased.
Lease a 2019 Lincoln MKC for just $383 a month and 0 down. Visit Chicagoland's greatest dealers, only at Highland Park Lincoln Superstore.
We're Al and Marty. Deal with us.
Plus tax, license, title, and $179.81 dock fee. 7,500 miles per year, 36 months, no security deposit. Offer ends 12/2/19.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head, just over $30,000. That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask like 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. Optima Tax Relief. They're the best in the business.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744. Optima Tax Relief.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Rick Blavelone, second-generation owner and CEO of Marketing Innovators and a customer of Signature Bank. Our family-run company was founded on the belief that connecting to people on a human level is the best way to build a great business. And when we were looking for a new bank, we didn't have to look far. We shared an office building with Signature Bank in Rosemont and quickly saw that they were truly locally owned and operated. That's why we partnered with Signature. And that relationship makes every business decision better and every communication clearer. Marketing Innovators looks forward to a long-lasting relationship with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A lost dog, not a lost cause. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press, available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
5:37, AM 560 Traffic Center time, and here is Jim Telemonte.
Many roads and sidewalks are slick this morning on the 1st of November. There's a crash on the outbound Ryan near 31st in the express lanes. We're seeing delays inbound of the express. Gapers between 35th and the Stevenson. Now, Stevenson traffic is tight. Ashland to the right. You're looking at about a 2-minute delay there. Things are still fairly quiet on the other expressways and tollways in Illinois, but in northwest Indiana, westbound 8094 at Indianapolis Boulevard, there's a crash. We'll have a road race tomorrow in Pilsen causing closures. Then the hot chocolate run is Sunday morning. You'll have heavy congestion and closures in parts of the Loop, South Loop, and near South Side. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Don't be late for that hot chocolate run. Make sure you fall back this weekend. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Not as cold today. Clouds and sunshine mixed and a high near 40. It's 23 right now. Next news at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. Every Saturday morning at 7 on AM 560 The Answer. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. How do we tell the kids? What about the children?
All we care about lately are the children. And you, how are your fictitious children. your
How
imaginary
do you
children.
tell your children the world is burning? We were just sitting around for dinner on Sunday night when videos of the flames leaping around I-80 in California appeared across my wife's phone.
Wait, they have wildfires in Indiana? Wow.
California.
I'm sorry, California. Why say Indiana?
I don't know. She held
Where
up,
am I?
She held up her
I'll
screen.
let you know when I get to work.
She held up her screen so I could see it from across the table. We paused before eating, talking quietly about the horror of the moment and the harbingers of worse to come. Then my 10-year-old daughter piped up, "California's on fire, Daddy?"
It's always on fire.
I hadn't realized she'd be listening, distracted as she was with a bowl of fettuccine under a mountain of Parmesan.
Oh, my God. This is insufferable, but yet intriguing. So please go on.
My wife and I glanced at each other, one of those unspoken communications parents have when trying to figure out how to address an adult topic in response to our baby daughter's question. Then my wife explained the drought and high winds, and I told our daughter that this was part of climate change making the natural world more dangerous. I added, and that's why we have to work so hard to fix this, because there's still hope. How do we talk to our children as we teeter on the edge of climate apocalypse? Asks David Perry, an academic advisor to the history department at the University of Minnesota. I'll cross that off the list for Peyton and Eli. Explaining to my children why the world is burning. David Perry, how do you talk to the children? How do you talk to an angel? Where's that guy from?
Wow, you're getting really
remember.
mushy over
Remember
there.
how do you talk to an angel? The what was the guy from Beverly Hills 90210 had like a one-hit wonder thing. What was the name of the band? You know what I'm talking about? How do you talk to an
keep
angel?
singing.
You know what I mean?
How
Yeah.
do you talk?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So 312-642-5600 Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA Turnkey.pro text line. How do you talk to your angels about the climate apocalypse? The climate apocalypse.
First of all, you should tell them the truth that there is no climate apocalypse. And that
Mm.
there's always something burning in California, if you know what I mean. It's common over there.
I'm sorry, David Perry, as he's emoting on CNN's website here, trying to figure out where the fine line is between not sugarcoating the news while also not scaring my kids. It's true that the climate crisis is not like other problems. There may have never been such great disasters looming on the horizon. At the same time, there's never been a crisis for which we've had so many tools to both predict and mitigate the worst consequences. It's true if only those tools we have to make predictions turned out to be accurate predictions. Okay. All right. I get it. Calm down, Mr. Perry. We'll get you to you. Climate change, like, happened yesterday in Chicago, where we set a 96-year-old snowfall record.
3.4 inches at O'Hare. 6 inches up in Waukegan, yeah.
You have...
But then people will argue that that's part of climate change.
Of course, everything
The
is.
extremes.
Well, everything is. Well, as it is, because the climate's always changing. The question is why, what are the implications, and what should we do about it? Those are questions that sort of brushed aside in the mass hysteria and the sentimentality of academics like Mr. Perry. Now, in Chicago, just a couple of months ago, WBZ, the NPR station here, was nice enough to survey some experts to provide 10 things that Lightfoot can do to combat climate change. Now that she's solved K through 12 education, turn her attention to climate change here. Power CTA municipal fleets with renewable energy. Yeah. It'd be great because
solar panels work really well in the wintertime.
That's why it'd be great, because the buses would be sidelined in the winter.
Exactly. But we could put the solar panels on the roof of the CTA. People think that that's going to, make the wheels go round and round.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've got all kinds of money for those infrastructure projects too.
What other ideas?
Swap concrete for native plants. Native, make sure they're native. You don't want any colonial cauliflower growing in the planters and the medians there.
Swap concrete for native.
Ban food waste, bolster composting. Oh,
Well,
sure. Yeah, compost. Very like the Washington State, like where you don't bury your dead, you just turn
Right, they become
grandma and
fertilizer.
grandpa. Yeah.
Well, I'm not opposed to composting.
No, of course not. No, yeah. smart meters for buildings, bring back the Department of Environment and fix recycling. No, there's no question. If city government in Chicago needs something, it needs another bureaucracy. That's what it really needs. Turn vacant lots into urban gardens to feed the community.
They have a bunch of those in Ravenswood, tons of those. Right along the tracks, too, it's community gardening. And you could feed your family if you get a little plot, but I don't know about feeding the community. But
A lot of people dying of starvation in Chicago. Reduce hot time in the city with green roofs and trees.
they're already doing stuff like that. You see it.
Faster, bigger, better.
There's already green roofs already.
Create spaces to promote and teach environmental sustainability. Bring the concept of the green living room, a space to learn about sustainability and sustainable communities, to every black and brown community. White's not allowed. So neighbors can learn the risks and opportunities of our climate crisis, how to reinvent the walkable village as a local living economy and greenhouse gas reduction strategy, and then we'll all get around our drum circle. Greta Thunberg has opined on another important topic.
She hasn't gone away yet? Somebody was dressed up as her, by the way, for Halloween who came to the door.
How dare they? How dare they?
How dare you?
Because everyone that came for candy, I'm like, who are you? I made them say trick or treat, and then who are you dressed up as? I'm Greta Thunberg. Like, of course you are. One piece for you, but everybody else got two.
Did she, rather than saying trick or treat, did she say, how dare you?
How dare you?
She told me I have too many lights on in my house.
I bet. I bet.
No, she was, I mean, come on. She's getting brainwashed by her parents. What can you do?
Greta Thunberg is openly ruminating about leaving Facebook.
Oh no.
What
are you going to do with yourself, Dan? What are you going to do with your time, really?
I am happy, like many others. I am, excuse me. She's not happy. She's the opposite of that. I am, like many others, questioning whether I should keep using Facebook or not. Allowing hate speech, the lack of fact-checking, and, of course, the issues interfering with democracy are among many, many other things that are very upsetting, and you will not like Greta when she gets upset. The constant lies and conspiracy theories about me and countless others, of course, result in hate, death threats, and ultimately violence. That could easily be stopped if Facebook wanted to. I find the lack of taking responsibility very disturbing. Mark Zuckerberg, how dare you?
How dare you?
Thank you. A little slow on that, but I appreciate it.
In response, I would like to cede my time to offering a national review about the Children's Crusade. This author offers this in response. Here's 10 things Lightfoot could do. He's got 9 planks in his manifesto to be read to the children. And this could perhaps help address the University of Minnesota's Mr. Perry, his concerns, Greta's concerns, Lightfoot's concerns, so I offer this. Sure, the climate might be changing. Warmer and wetter weather sounds better than colder and drier, to be honest. Number 2, learning that Arctic melting might be due to an underwater volcano instead of someone in Kansas having ribs for dinner does not strike us as a gobsmacking surprise. Number 3, we will not give up our air conditioning as long as China and India pump out as much CO2 as they like. Actually, you can put a period after air conditioning. Actually, you can put a period after not when it comes to giving up the things that make you pout. We do not think your youth confers authority. Number 4, we think it makes you intellectually malleable and prone to hormonal irrationality. Put it this way, we suspect that many of you may be manipulated by elders who are amused that people in your generation literally put rings in their own noses as if begging to be led.
That's good. That's good.
Number 5, we are in favor of things green and clean. It's not as if we climate infidels have a spare Earth somewhere and will be hopping on board Elon Musk's ark while you replay the roof scene from the evacuation of the Saigon embassy. We're just not in favor of switching from the occasional hamburger to a meal of bugs and fungus simply because you think the Amazon has been reduced to the size of a miniature golf course. We're not surprised that some of you insist you won't have children because the planet is doomed. We remember the people who didn't have kids because Ronald Reagan was an addled goof who wanted a nuclear war. Before that, people didn't have kids because the world would be overpopulated. People would be literally shoved into the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans to drown because the North American continent had become a coast-to-coast mass of emaciated people clawing out each other's eyes over the last crust of bread. We wish you realized the carbon impact of the cloud services that power the internet and forswear all the things you apparently believe are powered by unicorn exhalations. Lastly, even though you say the world is ending, you will go to college and try to find your way in the world. If you were truly, honestly fearful, you wouldn't worry about college debt any more than someone strolling to the electric chair is concerned about the interest rate on his credit card for which he was just approved. We worry that the worst of you will go into politics and the rest will vote for them because they care, and you'll be shocked when you're standing in line with a meat ration coupon. Like, the coupon should be in an app or something. Good stuff. Jim in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, Dan and Amy. I had the pleasure last night. My 12-year-old son, who happens to be getting a 98% in his chemistry class at in Naperville School District.
Just like
tongue in cheek, he brought up the subject of climate change and his fear of dying, 10 years from now, of the world ending. And I had to relate to him. My professor back in 1981 at the University of Illinois, telling me that lecturing the class that 25 years ago we would have been under 50 feet of ice by now because of climate change, because of global cooling. The world's going to go into Arctic blast. That we're going to
a new ice age. Yeah, right.
By now.
Yes.
Ice age.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for the call, Jim. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I mean, this James Leaks, by the way, is the person who came up with this 9-point manifesto for the kids, the addressing the climate panic movement, as he calls it. Yeah. We wish you well. We wish you a society so prosperous that you can spend your idle hours berating people who do not shave cotton off their Q-tips and recycle the paper stem. But we do not wish to take orders from dour children whose Save the Earth poster occupies a space that had pictures of Pokemon 2 years ago. This may sound like the meanest, worst thing you've ever heard, and it's going to be contrary to everything you believe, and I'm truly sorry to break the news, but it needs to be said. The world isn't going to end. I know, that was harsh. We hope you can forgive us.
What a brilliantly written letter.
I don't think Greta will forgive him. Ken in Geneva.
Yeah, I try to. Good morning, by the way. Thanks
Good
for
morning.
the show. I try to tell my kids that science is really interesting, and right now they're sending people to Mars and trying to export it, but they always overreach. And so while they're trying to go to Mars and solve the problems, they always end up on Uranus.
Hey now. Hey now.
Why did I see that revolving right into our
slow
view?
pitch across the
Yeah.
plate.
Oh, yeah. All right. Dave and Racine, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Greetings and salutations. Well, just
Yes.
the analogy for the California situation is like having a dried up Christmas tree with faulty Christmas tree lights. It would be more of the way a lot of these fires have been starting and burning. And maybe little Miss Greta, she could go over to tell Putin or the Chi-Coms, why don't you stop asking them to stop polluting? Then they could end up in a nice gulag or re-education camp.
All right, thanks for the call, Dave. Yeah, Greta should bring this up with President Xi in China. That'd be a good place to start. Randy in Lake Geneva.
Yeah, I think the composting thing is a great idea for people living in the John Hancock building and Marina Towers and all those buildings about now.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Randy. Yeah, all those high rises that continue to go up, too. Those would be great composting centers. There's no question. Tom in Deer Park.
It's not so much the kids I worry about. It's the adults that are teaching them right now. And if you know people who walk around with their finger on the panic button, be it for anti-GMO or anti-vax, they missed or slept through science class. And you can almost do it in a bumper sticker if they're listening. The planet's 4.5 billion years old. When it was formed, it was a molten ball of lava no oceans, no atmosphere, no oxygen. And over the course of time, without the help of humans, we got to where we are today. So, yes, who's messing around for about 120 years? Let's talk about it. But get your finger off the panic button and use a little common sense and calm down. And hopefully that sinks in, not always.
All right, thanks, Tom.
And just so you know, real quickly, Greta turned down the Nordic Council Environmental Award and $50,000 prize because she says they're not doing enough. Stop bragging and using beautiful words in accordance with what is needed with science now. Act. And she's traveling through Northern California right now on an environmental policy tour.
What is she saying to people whose homes are being incinerated or living in the dark? Is she saying, how dare you complain about this?
How dare you?
I mean, the nerve of this little 16-year-old.
Well, it's what Tom said,
please.
though. The adults that are running her or allowed her to.
She turned down a Nordic Council Environmental Award? I wanted that so badly.
Yeah, it sounds
like
it.
She said no and no to the $50,000.
I think that's what you want. You wanted the cash prize, is what I'm hearing. Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Boy, I'll tell you what, we can joke about this, but you know what the serious side of this thing is? They really are destroying the kids and everything like that. You know, when you got the parents joining in siding with the teachers to brainwash these kids, you think of how even A.O. Smith or even this Greta would, instead of being taught to be morons, they could have been really bright and useful to our culture, people, but they were turned into morons in our school system. It's too damaging, and you hit a good point. Here's Chicago, and then that thing with the reteaching them about slavery and all this stuff and reprogram them. It's all about brainwashing. It really is a serious thing. My kids went to private school, and they're so different and think so much differently from people of their age. It's unbelievable what's going on in this public school system.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Craig. Must be why Lori Lightfoot sends her kid to private school.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Tom Killeran Photography is ready to memorialize your next event with photos that come to life and preserve the memories for generations. They can accommodate your large group photos to individual portraits, wallet size to panoramic. They can even print your photos on location as a take-home keepsake for your party guests. Visit KilleranPhotography.com. AM 560 The Answer hired Tom Killeran Photography for our annual charity golf outing, and the finished product was amazing. Book Tom Killeran Photography for your upcoming corporate event, family reunion, wedding, bar mitzvah, or any event you want to capture forever. And those old family videos you have on VHS tape, it's time to preserve them forever. Tom Killeran Photography can transfer your beloved memories to DVD and can restore your older faded photos or enlarge them. Visit KilleranPhotography.com. KilleranPhotography.com. KILLORAN Photography.com.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can call Crumweedy. Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good Good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
You love listening to AM 560 The Answer. How would you like to work for us? If you have experience in sales, we'd love to talk to you. You already understand our mission and what we do, so now maybe you'd like to join our team. If you have sales experience, and specifically if you understand digital marketing, we might have a job for you. If you love us, come join us. It could be a life-changing opportunity for you. For more information, just go to the Careers tab at salemmedia.com.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Making her case on late night TV. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The most important thing for the American people to realize and understand is no one is above the law.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on the CBS Late Show, hours after the House voted with no Republican support to move forward with the impeachment process over the Trump-Ukraine call, asking for an investigation into the Bidens in the 2016 election. The president says it's a scam, telling the Nigel Farage radio show in Britain a lot of people were listening to his call.
When I say something inappropriate, I'm supposed to be they even say a very smart person, right? I don't think I'd be doing that.
Now, whenever and however President Trump leaves office, he's going to move out of New York City, where Fox's Tanya J. Powers is live.
Dave, he's trading Trump Tower for Mar-a-Lago. President Trump tweeted late yesterday that even though New York City will always have a special place in his heart, he'll be making his permanent home in Palm Beach, Florida. He filed a declaration of domicile paperwork last month, making the change, and the First Lady did the same. Democratic New York Governor Andrew Cuomo reacted to the news, saying, quote, "Good riddance. He's all yours, Florida." Dave?
Tanya, weeks after all the controversy surrounding President Trump pulling forces back in Syria as Turkey crossed the border to attack Kurds who had been U.S. allies battling ISIS, Russia is now helping Turkey with joint military patrols in a zone Kurds were required to leave in Syria in the deal that ended the fighting. A wildfire keeps scorching Ventura County, California. 8,000 acres have burned, thousands of people evacuated.
Firefighters are also using helicopters, but multiple times this morning they have had to stop flying because people are using drones to take pictures.
That's Fox's Ray Bogan in San Bernardino, where another fire torched 6 homes. There was a mass shooting at a Halloween party just before midnight at a house in Orinda, California. Fox 2 in San Francisco has been reporting that 4 people are dead. America's listening to Fox News.
$23 Right now we have mostly cloudy skies at 6:02 on AM 560 The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. This year's Halloween, the snowiest on record in Chicago. 3.4 inches of snow fell in the city yesterday, shattering the record set back in 2014. 7-year-old girl fighting for her life after she was shot last night trick-or-treating in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. The girl was walking with other trick-or-treaters in the 3700 block of West 26th Street. Chicago Public School students returning to class after missing 11 days because of teachers walking picket lines. The work stoppage came to an end yesterday after the Chicago Teachers Union and Mayor Lori Lightfoot agreed that 5 days lost to the strike would be made up and paid out.
In the interest of our students and our parents who have been suffering, it was important to me to make sure that we got our kids back in class. Enough is enough.
School district still needs to figure out when the makeup days will be added to the calendar. An Ohio man accused of claiming to be a missing Aurora boy, Timothy Pitson, is competent to stand trial. Brian Reaney was found competent by a judge yesterday. The 23-year-old admitted he was not Timothy Pitson after being confronted with DNA results. He faces up to 8 years in prison. Bulls will try to get back on track when they host the Pistons later on tonight. 49ers 8-0 after beating the Cardinals in Thursday night football. And the White Sox trade away catcher Wellington Castillo. The news service of Discover. Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. 6:03 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't exactly confident in the Democratic candidates.
President Trump tweeted, "You would think there is no way that any of the Democrat candidates that we witnessed last night could possibly become president of the United States." He's right. Did you watch the debate last night? Good Lord. What a clown show. What an absolute crap storm.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Dr. Jeff Gooden, and I treat pain with Salonpas. That's because practicing good medicine is my responsibility as a doctor. For back or joint pain, I agree with CDC guidance that recommends using topical pain relievers first, like Salonpas Patch Large. Salonpas is powerful, FDA approved to relieve debilitating moderate pain, yet non-addictive and gentle on the body. Look for the green Salonpas box in the pain relief aisle. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank. I'd like to thank our customers for selecting Signature as their trusted banking partner to help build their businesses. We started Signature in 2006, and we've had the opportunity to meet so many hardworking Chicagoans. From third-generation family-owned businesses on the west side of Chicago to tech innovators at 1871. Signature Bank is proud to work across many different industries in the city and beyond. As the fastest-growing, independently owned business bank in Chicago, Signature is always welcoming new customers. I'd love to meet you and learn about your business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Invisible Fence brand be your second set of hands this holiday season. Their indoor shield units can do just that by creating an invisible boundary to keep pets off furniture, countertops, even out of entire rooms. Visit invisiblefence.com to learn more. That's invisiblefence.com.
6:06 AM 560 Traffic Center time, and here is Jim Telemonti.
Metro reports early morning delays on the Union Pacific North and West lines. Inbound Eisenhower traffic is heavy, Manheim to Des Plaines Avenue. It's 32 minutes from 390 to downtown. Outbound 29. Edens is cleared. Kennedy, getting a little bit of congestion, but nothing too bad yet. Inbound Stevenson. Delays start before Central. Looking at 41 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 23 after a couple of collisions. I-57, 17 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 420. Tollway traffic moves well. It's a crash on 8094 westbound at Indianapolis Boulevard. Prepare to slow down there. That's traffic on this November 1st. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
And it is a fallback weekend, so prep ahead for Sunday morning. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Not as cold today. We'll see clouds and sun. The high today at 40. Clouds and cold tonight. A bit of snow moving in, accumulating a coating to an inch, low 31. And then cold tomorrow. Times of clouds and sun. The high tomorrow, 38. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
23 at O'Hare. Next news at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning in the latest act of impeachment theater, we have the Trojan horse resolution passed basically on a party line vote yesterday. Although you did have 2 Democrats defect.
Ooh, who were they? Let me guess, they're in Trump districts? Or maybe they are.
One was Jeff Van Drew, who's a Democrat from New Jersey. He said, I've been hearing from constituents on both sides of this matter for months, and the escalation of calls this past week just shows me how divided our country really is. I have some serious concerns with the way the closed-door depositions were run, and I'm skeptical that we will have a process that is open, transparent, and fair. He says, this is Democrat Representative Jeff Van Drew, that the inquiry is hopelessly partisan. But nonetheless, all the Republicans voted against it. All but 2 of the Democrats voted for it, Jeff Van Drew being one of them. And then the characterizing of it began. You heard the newscast at the top of the hour. Nancy Pelosi running around just saying what they always say, making a statement of principle that's inconsistent with what they're actually doing, which is no one's above the law. No one's above the law. I suppose that would include the members of Congress that are pursuing the impeachment inquiry.
Those in favor, please say aye. It's a sad day because nobody comes to Congress to impeach a president of the United States. Nobody.
Yeah, I know. She's
so sad. Oh, she's
a long
torn,
time of
Dan.
prayerful reflection has brought her to this point. Yeah, I get it. Here's the thing. If the process is unfair, then it's illegitimate. And so there is a process argument to be made, procedural justice, and then there's a substantive argument to make. And Republicans in the House held a presser making both yesterday, starting with Jim Jordan.
I want you all to think about something. This morning, I was in an impeachment deposition, but then had to leave that to come to the floor for a vote on the rules for impeachment. That's what that says it all about this entire process, and it is a sad day. It really is for this country. What the Democrats have put our nation through for now almost 4 years.
Does this galvanize you to be more engaged in 2020, to be more active, or are you essentially getting
I think people are numb to it, like their eyes are rolling over.
Well, are you getting winded by it, suffering political fatigue, or is it galvanized you to be more engaged and more active and, frankly, more proactive in terms of engaging other people to say what's going on is not in keeping with American values? There's the V word, values, like due process and the presumption of innocence and the right to confront those who make accusations. Now, President Trump hasn't been charged with a criminal offense, so he doesn't possess all of those rights at this point. However, as we've talked about in other matters, this sense of due process is not to be afforded just when you've been charged with a crime. It's sort of built into the DNA of our country, and it needs to be if we want to have a free society.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
My point is that the presumptions are not just legal. They're cultural. They're normative. And do you think the Democrats are behaving in a way that is consistent with the normative mores that undergird a free society? Jim Jordan said, went on to say, 4 facts haven't changed and are not going to change, and this is where our focus should be.
4 fundamental facts. We have the transcript. There is no conditions in the transcript. There's no quid pro quo in the transcript. Even the day after the call came out, Democratic chairmen were saying, well, there's no quid pro quo there, but we're going to keep on doing what they've been putting our country through. Second, the 2 individuals on the call both have said, President Trump, President Zelensky have both said there was no pressure, no pushing, nothing. Third, the Ukrainians didn't know 8 had been held up at the time of the phone call. And fourth, and most important, what action did they take? What action did President Zelensky take or the Ukrainians take to ever free up the aid that was held up? They did nothing. No statement, no announcement of any type of investment. Those facts have never changed, will never change, but they don't care.
House Majority Whip Steve Scalise took it one step further during debate on the House floor, talking about what he termed a Soviet-style impeachment proceeding.
In multiple places, it gives veto authority by the chair to literally reject any witness that's brought forward by the minority. So no rights for the minority unless the chair so designates. In fact, in this resolution, it allows the chair to veto even the ability for the president to have legal counsel in the room. If the chair chooses at his whim, they can literally kick out the president's legal counsel. This is unprecedented. It's not only unprecedented, this is Soviet-style rules. Maybe in the Soviet Union, you do things like this, where only you make the rules, where you reject the ability for the person you're accusing to even be in the room, to question what's going on, for anybody else to call witnesses, when only one person has the right to call witnesses.
And in just a few words, Kevin McCarthy just summarized what exactly this is.
This impeachment is not only an attempt to undo the last election, it is an attempt to influence the next one as well.
So
true.
Is that consistent with what Nancy Pelosi said? No one is above the law. Is that what's actually happening here? Is that what Democrats are in pursuit of, making sure that everyone is held to abide the law? Is there an allegation that President Trump has done something illegal? Should she invoke the law? I know that's just a phrase for Nancy Pelosi. It doesn't mean anything when she says it, but she invoked the law. If the president didn't, then of course there's no follow-ups. If the president is not above the law, you're suggesting he broke the law. What law did he break? Mike in Mokina, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I just want to give Nancy a big Pinocchio because when one of the Spice Girls got elected, her acceptance speech, he said, now let's go to Washington and impeach the MFer. So she did get a run for Congress to impeach somebody.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
Rashida
Tlaib, MF for
Tlaib.
Spice. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Well I mean, but there's a great a great tweet by Phil Kerpen, who's a Republican consultant, was with the Koch brothers operation, but it's done a bunch of other things. Impeachment resolution, how long this has been going on? And over what? Remember, AOC, the leader, the front girl for the socialist Spice Girls, impeach him over emoluments, impeach him over tax cuts, impeach him over the citizenship question on the census.
Right.
Those are all impeachable offenses according to her.
But that's why I think that there's takedown Trump fatigue. The people, even Democratic friends that I know I think that this is just a witch hunt.
Phil Kerpen tweeting yesterday, impeachment number 1, December 6th of 2017. December 6th of 2017. 58 Democrats voted to advance impeachment for the high crime or misdemeanor of dissing NFL anthem protests. That's an impeachable offense to 58 Democrat members of the House. Not kidding. He tweeted out their names, too. I'll retweet it. So we're supposed to take them seriously, that this is about the rule of law. This isn't about, as McCarthy said, avenging the 2016 election and preventing a 2020 repeat. Candace in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Sean made a really good point yesterday, and I think it's time to start implementing his plan, which is enough with the propaganda about process. Now, what Trump should do is start releasing the documents of Obama and his little scripts on when he negotiated for Iran, and how about Extortion 17, and how he did deals for health care and all the arm twisting that had to be done there. Because really, I mean, he's right. It's not about the process. This is the way things are done in D.C. everywhere. And it's time to start calling their bluff. And, I mean, they're just being totally hypocrites, you know?
Yeah, thanks.
He had a really good, interesting point yesterday.
Thanks for the call, Candace. Yeah.
President Trump responded, tweeted it's a witch hunt, and then he went on, called into a radio station.
The Democrats are desperate. They're desperate. It's the only way they're going to try and win the election this way because they can't win it the fair way.
Now,
then he had a witch hunt Halloween party in Pennsylvania. Phil Kerpen. The charges over which Democrats have moved to impeach the president, some of them, right? Because they've been on a fishing expedition to find something that could get a majority, or at least to build to a majority since he was elected. Impeachment gambit number 2, resolution number 2. 66 Democrats in the House voted to advance impeachment for the high crime of saying S-hole countries. Yeah. That's impeachable, according to 66. 66 of 232 that voted for the impeachment resolution yesterday. So a quarter of the Democrat caucus said it was impeachable to say S-hole countries. Number 3, July 17th, 2019, 95 Democrats voted to advance impeachment for the high crime of insulting the squad. Impeachment number 4, we were waiting for until yesterday. Yeah. I mean, impeaching him over name calling, impeaching him over tax cuts. These are all the positions that House Democrats have taken, but we're supposed to take them seriously now after then you layer in the 2.5 years of the Mueller investigation saga. And we're supposed to erase our memory banks and say, oh, Nancy Pelosi says this is about the rule of law. We should take her at face value. Should we?
So what happens now? So Democrats approve the rules for how to proceed?
What happens now is we prepare for President Nancy Pelosi. CNN is playing out all sorts of dream sequences that are really fun. Paul Callan, who's a legal analyst for CNN, seriously, speculates that both Trump and Pence could possibly be drawn into the Ukraine inquiry, leaving the way clear for Nancy Pelosi to ascend to be the commander-in-chief.
Oh, the first female president.
He writes, what might follow could be a double impeachment scenario that would make heads spin, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi as the President of the United States, because he remembers from his grade school civics that the House Speaker is third in line to the presidency. He does concede that even if both were implicated, Trump could nominate a new vice president under the 25th Amendment, and that new vice president would take over. But I mean, this is the level of delusion and fantasy, fabulism in which the Democrats are involved. Will in Skokie, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Good morning. You were asking about how people feel about this and how, what should happen and so on. I think that both political parties are going to be in big trouble, and it's really going to crumble our country if someone or a group of people from the deep state don't wind up going to jail. And I'm not talking about disgraced and run from office and stuff like this. I'm talking about go to jail, because this is a bunch of garbage. It's political games that are going on. I think both sides are to a greater or lesser extent involved in it, but you've got to have someone go to jail. The public has to see that the process actually works. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the call, Will. Well, I mean, we know a crime was committed, a crime that nobody apparently cares about. Even Republicans don't talk about it very much. They should. The unmasking of General Flynn. Maybe this will be part of what is wrapped up by the Durham investigation. I hope so. No one disputes that the unmasking of General Flynn was a crime, and yet no one has been held accountable. We're 3 years into this administration. Why? Rule of law. No one is above the law. Well, whoever unmasked General Flynn apparently is. That needs to be remedied.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Want your home's furnace to stay safe and reliable? And want to prevent any potential problems before they happen? At your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we recommend an annual furnace inspection and tune-up. Right now, get big savings on a furnace tune-up. Call 855-1-HOUR. Because not taking care of your furnace, that's just cold.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
By the way, I found out from one of my dentist friends that Jeff Van Drew, one of the two Democrats who voted against the Trojan horse impeachment resolution yesterday, dentist.
He's what?
Dentist. There's 5 dentists in the House, as you know.
You know what?
And
that's so inside baseball. I really appreciate that.
Jeff Van Drew is the only Democrat dentist, for those of you who like this sort of political trivia. I think it's time for Jeff Van Drew.
No, I like Jeff Van Dentist.
Well, it could be a work, too. Jeff Van Drew,
It's a Dutch
the
name,
dentist, to join his 4 dental colleagues in the Republican ranks.
Okay. Hey, MyPillow has helped, our listeners have helped build MyPillow into the amazing company it is today. And now Mike Lindell, the inventor and CEO, is giving it back to the listeners. You can get deep discounts still on all MyPillow products, including their newest item, and those are MyPillow towels. I can't wait. My set of towels are in Marcus's office. I'm going to go in there and take them home, try them out, tell you what I think. And you can receive deep discounts on those mattress toppers. We're talking about 30% off mattress toppers, pet beds, the Giza cotton sheets, and those towels. And MyPillow right now is only $29.99. And the best part is it's made in America, and all products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So Mike Lindell really stands behind his product. Get a MyPillow today. Start sleeping better. It's a gift you can give yourself while you're sleeping. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201 and tell them Amy sent you.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting TOP to 350-350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 LASIK surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago. And we're offering 20% off our already low-cost services.
What's that text again?
Text TOP to 350-350. That's TOP to 350-350 to schedule your free consultation today.
Hey, take control of your income and your future. What I mean is don't let somebody else make money off of your retirement money. Make it for yourself and keep it. I'm talking about Online Trading Academy. They are the leader, folks, in trading and investing education, with courses offered throughout Chicagoland, including East Peoria, Valparaiso, and Lombard. With Online Trading Academy, you can learn about ways to generate income and protect your retirement. I signed up to take a free class at the Lombard Academy, and I was very impressed by what I experienced. I learned a lot about the markets because I really had no idea how to trade, when to trade. The instructor was incredibly knowledgeable, and he really took time to explain to us their patented trading strategy. In fact, I have a friend who quit his regular job, and because of Online Trading Academy, that's what he does full time. He trades and makes money off of his own retirement. Here's what you do. Call now, 844-778-7132. Call now to attend and get 2 free passes to their next class so you can see for yourself. Again, that number, 844-778-7132. And if you call right now, they'll send you home with their Professionals Insider Kit. It is full of exclusive investing courses from some of the pros. Seats go quickly, so call now. Give it a try. It is a free course. 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132, or visit them online at otaclass.com. That's otaclass.com.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Your product is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how my life has been changed so completely. I'm just at a loss to describe. I don't know how I could ever tell Dr. Howard and Susan, his dear wife, how much I deeply appreciate all the work they put into this magnificent product. I mean, there's so many things that have improved, and I'm only just beginning.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy. Oh, we lost Chip in St. Charles. Sorry about that, Chip.
We're going to take your call, Chip.
You gotta be a little patient around here. We got a lot of things going on. One other note on the impeachment day in impeachment theater yesterday.
Yeah.
Again, this is all leaked information because this is not transparent. One of the criticisms. Tim Morrison, senior White House official, was on Trump's call with Zelensky. It's interesting how it's being reported. The New York Times reports, confirms Bill Taylor's testimony, corroborates his testimony. What was his testimony? His testimony was that he was uncomfortable with the word choices of the president. He also said in the prepared statement, his prepared statement to Congress, I want to be clear, I was not concerned that anything illegal was discussed. Tim Morrison. I want to be clear, I was not concerned. He was on the call, first person, unlike the whistleblower. I want to be clear, I was not concerned that anything illegal was discussed.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
In our latest installment of Campus Beat, Mattress Girl has a change of sheets at 6:36.
Are they Giza cotton sheets?
Find out.
From MyPillow.com. Stand by, find out. And also, did Lori Lightfoot cave? And as 300,000 kids go back to school today, our perpetual nightmare is over. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Skies are fair, 23 degrees. This year's Halloween, the snowiest on record in Chicago, 3.4 inches officially. 7-year-old girl fights for her life after she was shot while trick-or-treating in a costume in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood yesterday. President Trump expected to attack the House impeachment inquiry led by Democrats at a campaign rally in Mississippi. The president will be in Tupelo tonight, rallying support for Republican gubernatorial candidate Tate Reeves. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Thursday's vote on impeachment is what she calls a sad thing for the country.
It's very sad. We don't want to impeach a president. We don't want the reality that a president has done something that is in violation of the Constitution.
Pelosi went on CBS Late Show, Stephen Colbert's comedy show last night. House Republican leadership reacting, Republican caucus chairwoman Liz Cheney saying the American people will be the ones who hold Democrats accountable.
This is a process that has been fundamentally tainted. The president has had no rights inside these hearings. His counsel has not been able to be present. So for them now to claim that they're suddenly going to open the process up, which, by the way, this resolution does not do.
Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy went on to call the process a sham. A new wildfire spreading in Southern California, spreading rapidly this morning. Ventura County Fire says the Maria fire charred through 7,000 acres. 4 are dead from a multiple shooting at a home in an affluent San Francisco Bay Area community. Witnesses telling police the shootings happened at a Halloween party at an Airbnb rental in Orinda, east of Berkeley. Chicago public school students are returning to class today after missing 11 days because of teachers walking picket lines. An Ohio man accused of claiming to be a missing Aurora boy, Timothy Pitson, has been declared competent to stand trial. Brian Reaney was found competent by a judge yesterday. The 23-year-old has admitted when confronted with DNA results that he was not the missing boy. The fate of a Chicago police officer charged with murdering a man on the Northwest Side in 2017 is now in the hands of a Cook County judge. The trial of Officer Lowell Hauser concluded yesterday. And Chick-fil-A wants you to come in and celebrate National Sandwich Day, November 3rd. Think about that for a moment, because you can't order a Chick-fil-A sandwich on November 3rd. It's a Sunday. Bulls will try to get back on track when they host the Pistons tonight. 49ers now 8-0 after they beat the Cardinals in Thursday Night Football. Football tomorrow, Illinois and Rutgers. And our Northern Illinois Huskies battle Central Michigan with a kick time of 11 a.m. on AM 560 from snowy Mount Pleasant. The news is a service of Indeed.com, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more, Indeed.com/hire. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
With all the noise and political spin of the news cycle, it's easy for the things that really matter to get lost. Sources with knowledge cuts through all the clutter to bring you biting commentary on the week's events. This Sunday at 3 p.m., your hosts Eric Cohn and Joe Kaiser bring you insight on politics and policy, as well as culture, sports, food, and everything else you need, so you can understand what's happened this week. It's Sources with Knowledge this Sunday at 3 p.m. right here on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me, I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Your product is absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how my life has been changed so completely. I'm just at a loss to describe. I don't know how I could ever tell Dr. Howard and Susan, his dear wife, how much I deeply appreciate all the work they put into this magnificent product. I mean, there's so many things that have improved, and I'm only just beginning.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
It is 6:36, AM 560 Traffic Center time, and Jim Telemonte.
On Mattress BNSF line, the train leaving Aurora at 7:52 this morning will not operate due to a mechanical failure, and Metra has delays on the Union Pacific North and West line. Eden's inbound side Foster to the junction, 20 minutes like Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Eisenhower, 34 minutes from 390 to the Burn Circle. Inbound Stevenson delays start at 83. It's 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 17, slow 31st to 47. I-57, 17 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 420. Tollways are pretty light right now. It's Friday, that's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Not as cold today. We'll have clouds and sunshine and a high near 40. Little snow overnight up to an inch. Low 31. 23 right now. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Cause they got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Pitchy there.
Yeah, Emma Sulkowicz, remember her?
That's Mattress Girl, right?
Mattress Girl.
Did she have a twin or a full size, whether I can't remember.
She had,
I think it was a twin size mattress.
she was the undergrad at Columbia University who affixed a mattress to herself to protest what she said was a sexual assault that was committed against her.
Right.
It never really went anywhere. There was no evidence to back up her claim, and so Columbia had to drop her complaint against a fellow student.
Oh, no. When the lie is uncovered.
This is, that's 5 years ago now. This is a bit of a story of hope, actually. It became such a flashpoint, you recall, that, of course, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, remembering her presidential run, remember her?
Oh, yeah.
She invited
former sorority sister.
She invited Mattress Girl to be her guest at the State of the Union address in 2015.
That's right. I remember that.
Remember that?
But she just brought the sheets that time and not the mattress.
But Sulkowicz has started to engage more libertarian-minded thinkers. And she says she's still a feminist and an advocate for survivors of sexual assault, but she's changed her posture a bit. Well, that Posturepedic that she was carrying around certainly helped.
Hey.
She now listens to Jordan Peterson. She attended Reason writer Robbie Sove's book party for Panic Attack. We've had him on the show about that, Young Radicals in the Age of Trump. In the books, Sauve from Reason writes critically of Emma Sulkowicz, Mattress Girl. She says, I've done a lot of self-work to get to the place where I don't need to have vengeance. The left, of course, suggesting she has been red-pilled. She says, in response to that, actually, as I became more and more feminist, I think I got to a point where I was literally just straight up hating men. I just hated men. I wished all men would die. This is an intersection of campus beat and why Dan Proft is single.
Okay.
Now, however, though...
Oh, wait. There's a
hopeful
change.
note.
Is this the softer side of Mattress Girl?
She wants to listen to their perspective, not just men, but others with whom she has disagreed. In this interview that she gave to The Cut, in the past, Sulkowicz dismissed opposing views without understanding them, but now she sees intellectual curiosity as intertwined with respect. Who knew? She wants to disagree with people on their own terms. So, if Mattress Girl could change, then you could change, then we can all change. Remember that from Rocky IV? When he beats Drago, and then he dresses the crowd that starts chanting Rocky, Rocky. But here's the thing. It's pretty encouraging, actually. Somebody who is as radicalized as Mattress Girl was on the campus, on the radical campus of Columbia University, and a little bit of distance from that environment, and a little bit of growing up over the last 5 years, and now you have a woman in her late 20s who is coming across as quite thoughtful.
So that you're saying that there's hope for Thunberg.
So you're
Greta.
saying there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance that she might grow out of this too.
1 in
Just
a
like
million?
someday Taylor Swift might grow up too.
And
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Stop doing concerts for Alibaba, you mean? Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. It's not just,
No, her
China's not
lyrics
just for
are
the
all-
NBA.
I know, but her lyrics are all like, whiny and how she got broken up with a boyfriend. Just grow up and become a real artist.
Well, I mean, this campus bee thing is encouraging because so much of our culture has its foundations in campus culture, right? The elites that lord over the civic institutions are all educated, generally, overeducated, some could persuasively argue. And so to see that reversal, that's a happy note. That's a happy note. Contrast that with some of the adults who are perhaps not salvageable, like outgoing Congresswoman Katie Hill. Did you hear? Did you hear her embrace of her choices on her way out the door in Congress? Yeah. Here's a pertinent part of her fare thee well speech.
I'm leaving because I no longer want to be used as a bargaining chip. I'm leaving because I didn't want to be peddled by papers and blogs and websites used by shameless operatives for the dirtiest gutter politics that I've ever seen, and the right-wing media to drive clicks and expand their audience by distributing intimate photos of me taken without my knowledge, let alone my consent, for the sexual entertainment of millions.
Wasn't that entertaining?
I'm leaving because of a misogynistic culture that gleefully consumed my naked pictures, capitalized on my sexuality, and enabled my abusive ex to continue that abuse, this time with the entire country watching. I am leaving because of the thousands of vile, threatening emails, calls, and texts that made me fear for my life and the lives of the people that I care about.
Oh, there it is.
Today is the first time I've left my apartment since the photos, taken without my consent, were released, and I'm scared. I'm leaving because for the sake of my community, my staff, my family, and myself, I can't allow this to continue.
And I kept thinking, oh, Lauren Underwood, she spent a lot of time with her because she hasn't left her apartment in days, and that's her roomie. So maybe they've bonded, taken their relationship to a new level.
The D.C. press corps is running cover for Katie Hill, casting her as the victim, as you would expect. What happened to Hill could discourage other women, especially younger and LGBTQ, XYZ, ABC, from seeking careers in the public eye. Oh, really?
My God.
Miss, and I love I've done something wrong. It's become a public spectacle because I'm a public person and a public official.
Well,
and so now I'm getting death threats. Now I'm the victim, not just in terms of, not just a political victim, but I'm also under siege from people who are threatening me. And what I'm doing is the courageous thing to protect myself and those who love, those who I love, because I'm scared. We heard the same rap from Susan Buchanan in Oak Park after she told white men to shut up. You can't talk about diversity.
Well, she said there's a double standard. And if she was a man, would she be resigning?
Yes.
I'm leaving, but we have men who have been credibly accused of intentional acts of sexual violence and remain in boardrooms, on the Supreme Court, in this very body, and worst of all, in the Oval Office.
Right. What she did, the same thing as what Brett Kavanaugh was falsely accused of doing.
No, she comparing they're uncomparable.
Well, of course. Number one, those pictures that were taken, they were taken without your consent?
They didn't look like they were taken without her consent.
How did they get taken then? Who took them?
Her husband, because they were in a thruple.
A thruple.
Thank you. Thrumpson, I like that one.
You're straddling a campaign worker.
Naked and
brushing her hair. You're naked on a couch. It's a close-up shot. I mean, I hate to provide the gory details, but that's the picture, one of the pictures in question. So how was that picture taken? Somebody else was in that room.
Yeah, the thruple, the third person.
So that's not credible. By the way, you're under a House ethics investigation. You haven't been expelled from the House. If you wanted to go through the process, Representative Hill, former Representative Hill very soon, then you could have done that, had your day before the House Ethics Committee, had your effective day in court, and protested your innocence to these charges. You don't have to be forced from office unless you were also violating House ethics rules with respect to this other assertion that you had an affair with a subordinate congressional staffer.
Right, which she didn't deny and she apologized for, but it's all happening so fast, Dan.
I wasn't ready for my time here to come to an end so soon. To every little girl who looked up to me, I hope that one day you can forgive me.
To every little girl that looked up to you, their parents should be telling them to pick better role models. This is somebody who, as others have opined, and I will reiterate, used her political position and power to feed her sexual appetites in an unethical way. That's the story here. All of this Joan of Arc of the bisexuals bull jive is just that.
Gross. And then, of course, her last comment, she wrote, related this to Trump.
There is only one investigation that deserves the attention of this country, and that's the one that we voted on today. As my final act, I voted to move forward with the impeachment of Donald Trump on behalf of the women of the United States of America.
Yeah, I know. You're a heroine.
We will not stand down. We will not be broken. We will not be silenced.
And I'm not sure the women of America want you as their spokesman, much as you'd like to self-designate, number one. Number two, it's very reminiscent of Harvey Weinstein, actually. I'm going to talk about everything other than what I'm accused of doing. I'm going to use my political position and my political positions, meaning being a woman of the left, as the basis for the privilege to indulge in whatever I want to indulge. So Harvey Weinstein didn't have time to deal with the accusations against him because he was too busy focused on going after the NRA. Katie Hill isn't going to indulge this House Ethics Committee investigation because she's too busy, taking it to Donald Trump. She's too busy fighting for women's rights and being a role model for young girls and so on and so forth. She is a self-indulgent, entitled child. I mean, I know she's only a few years older than Mattress Girl, but it's nice to see that some of these women that got poisoned on the college campus, and men too, obviously, it's not gender specific, can change the way that a Mattress Girl's mind is opening. Katie Hill's mind is rotted. Maybe there's a chance for her to change too. She's like 32, 33 years old. She's a young woman.
She's changed her husband. Did you see a picture of her husband?
I don't care about her husband. The rot that this story highlights, cultural rot, intellectual rot, and to have the D.C. press corps doing their customary running of interference, just as Rolling Stone went with the fake story about a Virginia rape case, just as they ran interference for Emma Sulkowicz with her dubious sexual harassment claim that Columbia University had to drop. They run interference because there's no accountability for making baseless accusations.
Painting herself as a victim and saying, if I was a man, things would be different. No, it wouldn't be.
How many men have been drummed from office for sexual misconduct of any sort? I mean, except for, lions of the Senate like Ted Kennedy, except for the men of the left. Now, that's changed a little bit in the Me Too era. Yeah. But you'll note also in the Me Too era, all these predators in positions of public profile, boy, they invariably, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 turn out to be men and now women of the left, don't they? You know why? Because those are people who believe they're their own gods. Those are the men and women without chest. Are there some in the Republican ranks? Of course there are. But you're less, because of belief systems, they're less likely to be found on Republican ranks because you're not just a squirming bag of appetites, to borrow a House of Cardsism from the BBC series, not the Kevin Spacey series. Kevin Spacey, another example. There you go. George in the West Loop, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, George. George, you're on
Hello.
Chicago's Morning Answer. George, you have to talk now.
That's not me, is it?
Yeah, it is you.
It's you, George.
Is your name George?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Richard.
Oh,
not George.
Well, now your name's George, Richard.
Hi, Steve. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah.
Dan, did you just quote C.S. Lewis?
I did. Abolition of Man. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. That's a applaud from me.
Right.
I think the conservatives, and myself included, we need to start mimicking those. We need to repeat that kind of stance. We're not going to go quietly into the night. We are not going to be abused. We are no longer going to take the denigration of our belief systems. We're no longer going to take the criticisms and the accusations that we're bad people. We're no longer, and just, you know what? If you don't like what I say, don't eat at our restaurants. Don't buy our shoes. There's millions upon millions upon millions of us that can keep our companies, afloat just fine. If you want to walk the street on your side, we'll walk it on the other, and we'll all live to be as old as we possibly can be, and that's the way it should be. If you don't like us, too bad. We are not the bad people. We need to do that. Conservatives are always running scared. We're phobic. We're this. We're that. We're this. No. We're going to stand our ground right here. If you don't like us, prove that we're bad.
Yeah, that's
you won't
right.
Be able to.
Thanks for the call, George. I had this conversation with Mike Gallagher yesterday, too, and it was in the context of Oak Park. Same sort of deal. And with Katie Hill and her doing her I was martyred at the hands of conservative barbarians routine. The conservative position is, well, she's out, so just let it be. And actually, some Republicans have sort of rallied to her defense, including Matt Gaetz from Florida. Ridiculous. Ridiculous to let her get away with the sort of sophistry you just heard us play from her Fare Thee Well speech. Ridiculous. She should be called out for being the barbarian she's trying to project onto others. She is somebody who couldn't control her appetites. She is somebody who tried to leverage, or did apparently, her political power to satisfy her desires.
in violation of House ethics rules at minimum. She's the one choosing not to have her day in court, but to resign in disgrace as well. And she's trying to cover that disgrace with all this, political showmanship and recitations of the accepted orthodoxy of the left, and that the media can pick up and amplify for her. You're right. Conservatives too easily back down by the name calling, which is exactly what the left wants to do. Steamroll. How dare you criticize Katie Hill? She's received threats.
Her husband did it. They're going through a nasty divorce.
Sorry.
Doesn't work with me.
Sorry. You don't get to call me names and steamroll me by suggesting I can't respond because you'll feel unsafe. Nuh-uh. And you don't get to have the last word on the way out the door, mischaracterizing who you are and who your critics are. We're going to, you can throw all of those names at me that you want, and we're going to machete right through them and get back to the substance of the matter, which is where the left is weak, which is where the left, frankly, is defenseless. And that's why they won't go there. That's why Oak Park Marxists won't come on this show. That's why they come up with these very convenient bootstrap theories about engaging with people with whom they disagree. We can't do it because then we're just platforming hate. Right. Sure you are. You can't let them get away with it. George, Richard, Steve, Jim in the West Loop is exactly right. Michael in Arlington Heights.
I have to defend Katie. I mean, how in the world could she know somebody was taking a picture when she was naked and so focused on brushing her staffer's hair? I mean, come on.
She straddled her.
Sure. You're right, Michael. That's a fair point. She was in the moment. Yeah.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The latest job report out today. It's back to class for public school students in Chicago. Those stories next.
Hi, this is Dennis Prager, and again, the Prager Store has put together something new. They have compiled every male-female hour since 2010. We've had topics and calls about marriage, kids, dating, intimacy, fidelity, the truths about what a woman needs, what a man needs. Also includes every segment with my friend and relationship expert, Allison Armstrong. I've done this segment for years. Now you can listen to all of them dating back to 2010. These hours have literally saved marriages. I wish I could read to you all the emails I have received and what people tell me at every speech. The couple will come over with a smile and thank me for what the male-female hour has done for their marriage. Or even gotten people to get married to begin with. For a limited time, the complete collection, 10 years of the male-female hour, 50% off. Available on flash drives or as a download. Go to pragerstore.com.
Economic reports today include the latest on construction, the ISM Manufacturing Index, and the October Jobs Report. Public school classes in Chicago resumed today. Teachers in the nation's third largest school district reached an agreement on a new contract, ending a strike that canceled 11 days of classes for more than 300,000 students. This the city's first significant walkout by teachers since 2012. Union members had been holding marches and rallies across the city. The first change to beer alcohol limits since Prohibition coming to Utah. The state will become the next to last in the country to say goodbye to lower alcohol of 3.2% beer. The law goes into effect today. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
My name is David Hochberg. Today meet Jim, 74, bus driver, who called Rocket Loving Lending to refinance. Bad move. Rocket Loving Lending quoted Jim a ridiculously low rate and charged him over $11,000 in closing costs. You heard me. $11,000 in closing costs, which he thought was excessive, so he called Team Hochberg. I explained the low rate and excessive closing cost game Rocket Loving Lending plays to mesmerize consumers and then help Jim refinance with a full closing cost credit. Let's review. Rocket Loving Lending offered Jim a ridiculously low rate and wanted to charge him over $11,000 in closing costs, and Team Hochberg refinanced Jim with a full closing cost credit. Call Team Hochberg, your honest local lender who will always look out for your financial best interest, now at 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-563-2843, or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1124061.
Stop wasting energy. There's a better way. Your company could be receiving energy efficiency incentives by recycling waste heat from on-site power generation equipment and turning it into useful energy. The federal government is pushing utility companies to be more efficient. In turn, utility companies are offering incentives for your business. Charles Equipment can help get you up and running with cogeneration, also known as CHP, combined heat and power, a clean and efficient way to generate heat and power. CHP systems can supply at least a portion of a building's electrical load and capture waste heat from hot exhaust gases for use in heating, cooling, hot water, and dehumidification. Charles Equipment can install and manage the cogen equipment at your facility and help your energy use become 70 to 90% more efficient. Start making better, more energy efficient decisions and save money in the process. Call Charles Equipment 630-834-6000 or online at charlesequipment.com. Reliable industrial generators. They've got the power.
What if being in recovery from a mental or substance use disorder was something we proudly showed the world? Millions of people are in recovery, sharing hope and support with family, friends, and community. Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He keeps pushing back on the impeachment push. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It's the only way they're going to try and win the election this way because they can't win it the fair way.
President Trump talking to the Nigel Farage radio show in Britain hours after House Democrats passed a resolution to move the impeachment process forward. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
President Trump signaling he won't cooperate with the impeachment inquiry and saying he might read aloud to Americans what he referred to as a transcript of the call so they can see his point. In an interview with the Washington Examiner, the president said he was pleased with yesterday's testimony of a former White House official who said he saw nothing illegal in the call. But National Security Council's Tim Morrison also reportedly told lawmakers in his sworn deposition that a package of military assistance for Ukraine would not be released until the country committed to investigating former Vice President Joe Biden. Dave?
John House Speaker Nancy Pelosi went on the CBS Late Show.
We don't want to impeach a president. We don't want the reality that a president has done something that is in violation of the Constitution. But this was something that you could not ignore.
She and Democrats claim the president violated his oath of office. Wildfire fighters been up all night battling a new blaze in Ventura County, California. It's torched 11 square miles.
There are about 1,800 structures threatened and about 7,500 people under evacuation orders at this time.
Sheriff Billy Ayoub, the biggest of the 12 fires burning in the state in Sonoma County, is better contained today. Thousands of evacuees have returned home. Kids are getting up and getting ready to go back to class in Chicago. The teachers have ended their strike that lasted for 11 school days. Also in Chicago,
shots fired in Little Village. Windows shattered as people started running from the scene. A 7-year-old girl was shot in the neck and chest. She was with her parents trick-or-treating.
That's Tia Ewing with Fox 32 TV in Chicago. That little girl who was dressed up like a bumblebee is in critical condition. Police believe it was a stray bullet. She wasn't the intended target. They're looking for 3 suspects. America's listening to Fox News.
Fair skies this morning, 24 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. This year's Halloween, the snowiest on record in Chicago. National Weather Service said 3.4 inches of snow fell in the city yesterday, shattering the daily record set back in 2014. But it is chilly this morning, and that is causing major delays, equipment malfunctions, and delays on several metro lines. Jim Telemonte will be along in just a moment with the very latest on that development today. A 7-year-old girl is fighting for her life after she was shot trick-or-treating in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. The child hit by a stray bullet, taken to the hospital in critical condition. Chicago Public School students returning to class today after missing 11 days of school because of a teacher's strike. Work stoppage came to an end yesterday after CTU members and Mayor Lightfoot agreed that only 5 days lost to the strike will have to be made up and then paid out to teachers.
In the interest of our students and our parents who have been suffering, it was important to me to make sure that we got our kids back in class. Enough is enough.
The district still needs to figure out when the makeup days will be added to the calendar. A Palatine man pleading not guilty after being charged with driving an SUV through Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg in September. Javier Garcia entered that not guilty plea in Cook County Court. Illinois' vaping death toll is on the rise. The Illinois Department of Public Health saying a third person has died after being sickened from vaping. 80% of those in the state who've gotten sick vaped marijuana. Bulls will try to get back on track tonight, hosting the Pistons. 49ers 8-0 after beating the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. The news service of eBay. Say you want to surprise someone with a bike. eBay has lots of bikes, mountain bikes, dirt bikes, workout bikes. Check eBay first and you'll always find an unmatched selection at a price you'll love. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hey everyone, Ken here. For 2 years now you've heard Carrie and I use metaphors to test to see if you think your home or your business could use a revenue shot in the backside. Today, because of our new website, I can be a little bit more direct. Income Store has 2 doors. If you have more time than money, you're going to live under door number 1. You're going to see over 400 digital assets, 5 to 20 minutes apiece, that'll teach you how to manage numbers and lead people, or show you 6 growth tips you've never heard of. All of this so you can start growing your home or your business revenue literally immediately. If you have more money than time, door number 2 is going to be for you. You can view some of our managed services, look for more done-for-you packages. 34% of Americans in 2018 visited one of our managed services. Forbes 3 years in a row quoted, Income Store is an expert at generating home or business revenue. If you'd love to explore how to check out adding revenue to your home or business, just go to incomestore.com. That's incomestore.com.
I'm Dr. Bob Arnott, and I treat pain with Salonpas. Before you take anything for back or joint pain, I recommend applying topical pain relievers first, like Salonpas lidocaine patch. Salonpas lidocaine contains the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. It blocks pain receptors, providing effective, long-lasting, and non-addictive relief. Also available in roll-on or cream. Look for the silver Salonpas box in the pain relief aisle. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear from Jim, who just completed a no-cost refinance with Townstone Financial.
We went through the experience with Townstone. The experience was amazing. We had a point person that took control of the refi. The communication was specific and exactly what we needed to do. That I was never in the dark in the process. So I knew when I needed to get documents. I knew exactly what I needed. I would recommend Townstone to anybody, and I do.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
At Panera, get breakfast that's fast, not fast food. Try a new Chipotle chicken scrambled egg and avocado breakfast wrap and pair it with a premium freshly ground, freshly brewed coffee. All ready to go with the push of a button. Panera, food as it should be.
It is 7:07. AM 560 Traffic Center time, and Jim Telemonte.
Inbound Eden's delay started at Pratt. It's 28 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, now 39 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 19 from Montrose. 15 in the Express. Outbound 26 minutes to O'Hare. The Eisenhower's 45-minute drive. 390 to downtown. 30 from Mannheim. Outbound 31 to 390. Stevenson looking at 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, I-80 to the Verge, Bishop 420. Northbound Tri-State traffic is slow, 87th to 31st. And in pockets from the Reagan Tollway to Lawrence, Reagan Tollway is tight, 22nd to Roosevelt. Veterans Memorial, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. Mattress has all sorts of delays. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast is a service of Permaseal. It's time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And here is our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Clouds and sun and not as cold today. The high near 40. Clouds and cold tonight. Some snow accumulating up to an inch, low 31. Times of clouds and sun. A cold day tomorrow with a daytime high at 38. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
24 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So Chicago Public School students back to school today after one more capitulation from Lori Lightfoot in contravention of her tough talk, which has been a consistent thread throughout the process. Lori Lightfoot and Jesse Sharkey remarking upon the proceedings yesterday.
We refuse to even talk about this in terms of winning or losing.
Frankly, our members are still out there on the picket line today. And they don't need to see me smiling with the mayor when, in fact, what they need to see is they need to see that we have a tentative agreement. We now have a return to work agreement.
Nobody needs to talk in the lexicon of winning and losing, because when you rout somebody or somebody's like 2.5 million residents, you don't need to point to the scorecard, the scoreboard. Everybody sees it.
Well, there were, no winners or losers. Remember, she said, and we played it yesterday, she is not budging on paying the teachers for striking, or in essence, making up the days. But they wanted 10, then Jesse went down to 8, and now we have this.
I refuse to even talk about this in terms of winning or losing. Frankly, given what the hardships that our students and our families have endured, I think it's an offensive term. Nobody wins in a circumstance like this.
It's offensive for Marianne Ahern to ask
talking about
why she came.
Talking about winning and losing, that's against Chicago values.
Oh, that's right.
That's why we're no longer going to talk about the Bears winning or losing either. That's not Chicago values. We don't use terms like winning and losing. We are learning so much about Chicago values this week from Lori Lightfoot, and of course earlier in the week from Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson, who basically said attending the International Association of Police Chiefs conference that Trump addressed on Monday, that was not consistent with Chicago values either. Here's what Trump had to say. See if some of what President Trump had to say, or remind you a little bit, is consistent with your values.
You don't hear it enough. You do an incredible job. The people of this country know it. And the people of this country love you. You don't hear that from these people back here, but they love you. You don't hear it from the fake news. The fake news doesn't like talking about that, but they love you.
That was the message to police generally, and how about Chicago police specifically?
It's embarrassing to us as a nation. All over the world, they're talking about Chicago. Afghanistan is a safe place by comparison. It's true. Police officers of Chicago are entitled to a police superintendent who has their backs and knows what he's doing. You're entitled to a police superintendent who sides with you. With the people of Chicago. The people want this. And with the families of Chicago. Not the criminals and the gang members that are here illegally, and not the stupid politicians that have no idea what the hell they're doing.
So we're still working on a working definition of Chicago values, but are Trump's values as he so articulated, and the actions he's taken in furtherance of those pronouncements he made, are they police's values, or is Eddie Johnson representative of police values in Chicago and the country? To help us with that question, we're pleased to be joined by Bernie Kerik. He is former police commissioner for New York City. You'll remember police commissioner during 9/11. The New York Times bestselling author. He has written about this values issue vis-a-vis Trump and police, since that's what big city mayors like Lori Lightfoot, that's the language they like to use and force their subordinates and appointees like Eddie Johnson to use as well. Bernie Kerik, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
So who's right? Eddie Johnson not attending because that would have been consistent with Chicago and ostensibly Chicago police values, or what President Trump had to say about police in Chicago specifically on Monday?
Here's the way I look at this. One, the police agencies around the country, and this conference that the president talked at was the International Association of Chiefs. So this is executive officers from the rank of captain and above, right up to chief, and commissioners from all over the entire country. They all came to Chicago, and they met with probably the staunchest, most aggressive supporter, if you will, of police that I've ever seen in the White House, in this president. My personal opinion on Eddie Johnson not coming to that convention, not attending, I think it's stupid. And I think it's stupid for this one specific reason. Most importantly, Chicago was going through a violent crime spree for the past several years. Violent crime and murder and gangs that knows no bounds, right? They had a higher murder rate than Los Angeles and New York City combined. And this is the kind of stuff that can be fixed with the right leadership and with the right partnerships with the federal agencies. Who runs those federal agencies? The President of the United States. It would have been a perfect opportunity for the superintendent of Chicago PD to sit with the president, talk to the president, tell him his concerns, tell him what he needs, and let the president infuse a federal task force, infuse DEA, the FBI, the ATF, the U.S. Marshals, every federal law enforcement agency possible, push them into Chicago to knock down the gang violence, knock down the violent crime, and knock down the murder.
Well,
but you have a mayor in Chicago that just 3 weeks ago called ICE members racist, called ICE policy racist policy, which is completely it's insane in my opinion, because nobody needs ICE. Nobody needs that federal enforcement arm of law enforcement more than Chicago.
Right.
But you have a mayor denouncing them, criticizing them. I just think it's sad for the people of Chicago.
Well, what are you doing differently in New York, and what are they doing differently in L.A., and why are your homicide rates so low, and how could we get there?
Well, look, I think you have to go back to the pre-Giuliani days of 1994, back in the 1990s, when New York City had, 2,400 homicides. I think in 1990 that was the number. In 1994 there were over 2,000. Between 1994 and 2002, Rudy Giuliani knocked the number down, the violent crime number down by 65%, and knocked the homicide rate down by 70%. And basically, he came to the conclusion at the time that nobody wants to live, work, visit, or go to school in a place where they're not safe. You have urban communities throughout the country and in Chicago where people are saying, we need jobs. We need better schools. We need better communities. Well, guess what? You're never going to put jobs in Chicago. You're never going to put those jobs in Chicago if you don't reduce the violent crime. You're never going to put better schools in Chicago if you don't reduce the violent crime and the murder rate, because nobody wants to go there. The only people that wants to go there, that wants to be there, are the thugs that's generating this violent crime and murder rate. So you've got to fix the violent crime.
So let me think about this though. So New York is still seeing relatively low incidence of violent crime compared to Chicago, even though they have a mayor that I wouldn't describe as necessarily pro-police. And so it's interesting because one of the things that we argue here, I've argued, is, hey, look, you have to have a police that have the backing of the civilian political authorities, and that didn't happen under Rahm, and it's not happening under Lightfoot, but it's not happening under de Blasio in New York City, and police are still keeping the streets relatively safe. So is it possible, if you have the right sort of culture in the police department, that you can do it even when you're running into interference from the civilian political authorities?
It's not just the culture, it's the policies.
Okay.
It's the policies, and that's why New York City, the crime reduction has continued. That's why the murder rate is the lowest in the history of New York City. Back as long as we've been recording murder, it's now the lowest it's ever been, not because of de Blasio, but because of the policies that were implemented under Giuliani and under Bloomberg. The NYPD has maintained those policies. And to give you an example of how that can change and how it differs, I ran the New York City Department of Correction before the NYPD. I ran Rikers Island, 133,000 inmate admissions per year, 22,000 inmates per day. That was our daily population. We reduced inmate-on-inmate violence by 93%, instilling all the same policies that the NYPD had. When I left the agency, the new people that came in after me, they diminished all those policies. And today, Rikers has half the population I had, but they have more violence.
And they can't even they can't even keep Jeffrey Epstein alive over at the MCC.
Right.
Well, and things like that. So it's not about the culture; it's some of the culture, but a lot of it is policy. How are you addressing crime? How are you calculating crime? How are you collecting the data? How are you putting out your enforcement units? This is all stuff that New York City has become famous for around the world, not only in New York City, not just in the U.S., but basically there are departments all over the world instilling the CompStat program and instituting the same kind of policies. Nobody can tell me that it can't be done. Chicago can be fixed with the right leadership, with the right policies, with the right law enforcement backing and support. But it's never going to change if you don't have leaders like mayors and police commissioners and superintendents to do it.
So just help us, because Eddie Johnson said that in response to Trump's criticisms, and by the way, even though Trump was very critical, he also said, hey, the federal government is here to help anybody who wants help. So Chicago, we're waiting for our phone to ring. He did say that. But he also, Eddie Johnson responding to the president, saying that the reason that the police chiefs decided to assemble for their conference in Chicago is because they all wanted to come to see the turnaround that's going on in Chicago, to learn from Chicago how to reduce violence. Do you find that a credible statement?
No, I find it kind of comical.
Yeah,
really.
well,
I don't know what stats he's looking at. But
it's almost like he sat down and had forums on how you could be more like Chicago, which he did not do. So the whole thing was strange because it was out of his hands where they arranged where this conference was going to be.
We're not very good at, and we're not very good at stopping violent crime, but we're very good at the political propaganda piece. Yeah.
No, exactly, and that's exactly what you hear. That's exactly. You know what? I'm not into propaganda. I worked for Giuliani. I can promise you, you either got the job done or you got fired. Yeah. It was one or the other. So it's, this is something I know can happen. It's happened in New York City and other cities that followed and emulated what we did in New York City. Chicago can be fixed, but it's never going to be fixed with the leadership it has now.
Now, are you, even though New York is experiencing historically low crime rates, and that's good news, President Trump has tired of the Big Apple. He's moving to Florida. How about you?
Well, I'm not moving to Florida yet. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
He is Bernie Kerik. He's the former police commissioner for the New York City Police Department, best-selling author. Bernie Kerik, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Always a pleasure. We'll have you back soon. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
This is Attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
Take a moment and picture your daughter. Society puts this unbelievable pressure on her to achieve, to win, to project perfection, and it affects her. I've told you about Northridge Prep for Boys. Now let me tell you about their sister school, Willows Academy. Girls thrive at Willows because the pressure just isn't there. There's no boys to create a social pecking order. It's a culture where what matters is how good a friend you are, not Instagram. They're all female faculty, create a warm environment where girls can be their best, not perfect. Not surprisingly, in this environment, girls actually do achieve. The Willows goal is to produce leaders, and it succeeds. Willows girls attend the top universities like MIT and Notre Dame. Willows has a strong liberal arts curriculum, small class sizes, personalized attention, and one-on-one mentoring. They're an independent Catholic school for grades 6 through 12 with your strong values. Learn more at their open house this Sunday, 2 days from now. Register online at willowsacademy.org. Again, the open house this Sunday, willowsacademy.org.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-600-5451. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-600-5451. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-600-5451. 1-800-600-5451.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I've been taking it for 5 years, and I have not been sick once. I mean, I tell people all the time. I went to Texas 3 years ago with my wife and my son. We were all in the same hotel room. I was sleeping in the middle of them. They were both so sick, hacking away. My daughter called from Jersey. She was sick. She threw up. I never got sick. So nobody can tell me these things don't work. I mean, I'm thrilled with it. I really am. I just don't get sick. I don't even get colds anymore. It's amazing.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
This is 60 Seconds of Sanity with Dan Proft. The timer starts now.
Trump values versus Chicago values. You don't hear it enough. You do an incredible job. The people of this country know it, and the people of this country love you. That was President Trump's message to police officers in his recent address to police chiefs from across America. He used the backdrop of Chicago, the most violent big city in America, and perhaps its most anti-Trump, to contrast his values with those of the leftist enclaves like Chicago. Trump recognized a police officer recently injured in the line of duty, declaring an attack on law enforcement is an attack on all Americans. He also took direct aim at Chicago's sanctuary city dogmatism, announcing, "I will never put the needs of illegal immigrant criminals before I put the needs of law-abiding citizens. It's very simple to me." His message was very simple indeed. Trump stands with law enforcement and the law-abiding. His detractors do not. That sets up an equally simple question for voters in 2020. With whom do you stand? And that's 60 Seconds of Sanity. Following perfectly on Bernie Carrick's comments we just talked to. Now, it's time for something different.
60 seconds. Total madness. This is 60 Seconds of Crazy with Amy J.
Oh, another sound effect added.
I get to ring the cowbell.
More cowbell.
I get to ring this cowbell tomorrow as our dear Amundsen Vikings are hosting the school's first ever state playoff game against Marmion. See, I said it right finally. But how did this happen? IHSA rules state that 3 practices need to be held before you can compete in the playoffs, and the strike ended yesterday. Well, we made that happen. CPS coaches like myself who are non-union members held practices anyway. We weren't crossing the picket line. We did what we had to do. And it is we who truly care about the students. I documented the 3 practices on my iPhone. The evidence was presented to IHSA and CPS, and there was no litigation needed. We won. Not only Amundsen, but all 17 schools can play in the state playoffs tomorrow because of that. And now the Vikings have to have strong hits, strong defense, and a running game to win tomorrow. So go Vikings.
Oh, more cowbell. Wonderful. That wasn't that crazy. The Vikings, is that the Vikings that Lizzo sang about? Here's the thing. That's great.
No, I cried on the air one day because I was just at my wit's end.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Wow.
Shut up, Jacobson, and do something. And I did something.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of what we did.
There's no crying in teachers' union politics. That said, for those of you interested in friendly wagers for
that's right, for
mediocre
excuse me,
high
we're
school
7-1.
playoff teams.
This is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to pump up?
I would take Marmion and lay the points. Take Marmion and lay the points.
So what do you think? Last time you predicted it correctly.
You
said 49-6, and when we played the St. Francis in Wheaton.
Right.
Nice stadium, by the way. Whoa.
No. I think you
Marmion's going to be surprised when they see our stadium tomorrow. They think they're going to like it.
I don't think
$1 million improvement.
Oh, sure. Sky's the limit in Chicago.
If anybody wants to come, it's at 1:00 tomorrow at Jornt Field.
Oh yeah.
Foster and Levitt.
Oh, named after Dan Jornt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Jornt's a good guy.
Yeah. Well, his father actually, because his father coached at Amundsen for 30 years.
Oh, I see.
So he used his money as CEO from Walgreens.
Let me give you just some advice about high school football in this region. You don't have an appreciation. You personally do not have an appreciation for suburban heritage programs. There's a culture of winning and good football in a lot of these suburban conferences, and there just isn't that tradition in Chicago for most of these schools.
Things are changing. We got a deep bench too. It's going to be good.
I said that you will kick the extra point in the one touchdown that you score, so that was meant as a little bit of encouragement.
Okay.
The final score: Marmion 35, Amundsen 7.
All right, you heard it for Marmion 35, Amundsen 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll get back to matters federal, like impeachment theater and the Trojan horse resolution passed in the House yesterday. We'll discuss with Julie Kelly from AmericanGreatness.com, amgreatness.com at 7:37.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
24 degrees. Skies are fair at the moment. 7:31. This year's Halloween, the snowiest on record in Chicago, shattering a 2014 record. By the way, yesterday was also the second heaviest October calendar day snowfall, behind 3.8 inches that fell back in 1989. 7-year-old girl continuing to fight for her life. She was shot while trick-or-treating in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood yesterday afternoon, hit by a stray bullet, while a man nearby also suffered a gunshot wound and is in stable condition. The Democrat-led House is proceeding on impeachment inquiry efforts against President Donald Trump. Lawmakers forced to defend the inquiry include New York Representative Carolyn Maloney.
We are acting deliberatively, thoroughly, and without delay.
Republicans are accusing the House of being secretive and keeping GOP members out of the process, including Georgia Representative Doug Collins.
You're looking for an answer you've already determined. And the impeachment committee should be the Judiciary Committee. If you want to do this right, then, Madam Speaker, do it right.
The Rules Committee resolution is unlike, Collins says, impeachment rules established during the Nixon and Clinton inquiries. President Trump says he might read through the rough transcript of his conversation with Ukraine's president on television. Presidential historian John Meacham says it's not a surprise.
One of the reasons Donald Trump is president is he has mastered the means of communication of his era, and he's mastered the vernacular, right? He understands social media. He understands how to program our national imagination. He understands reality programming.
The president saying he's thinking about reading that transcript in the style of former President Franklin Roosevelt's fireside chats on the radio in the 1930s. Chicago public school students back in class after missing 11 days due to a teachers' strike. They'll make up 5 of those days, and the district still needs to figure out when the makeup days will be added to the calendar. A teen is dead after he was struck by a CTA train in Chicago's Loop, and a man is in critical condition after tumbling from a balcony in Chicago's Loop at the Chicago Theater. The man fell last night from a third-floor balcony to the basement level of that venue. The victim hospitalized with severe head trauma. Bulls will try to get back on track when they host the Pistons tonight. The news service of eBay. Say you want to surprise someone with a bike. eBay has lots of bikes, mountain bikes, dirt bikes, workout bikes. Check eBay first, and you'll always find an unmatched selection at a price you'll love. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can't make heads or tails of the left.
To be a liberal Democrat, extreme radical socialist today, you have to suspend any fidelity to truth, to honesty, to common sense and reason. Because in their world, up is down, down is up. You know, black is white, white is black, green is purple, purple is green. That's the world they live in.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Want your home's furnace to stay safe and reliable? And want to prevent any potential problems before they happen? At your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we recommend an annual furnace inspection and tune-up. Right now, get big savings on a furnace tune-up. Call 855-1-HOUR. Because not taking care of your furnace, that's just cold.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Come on, Al, read our latest fan mail.
Dear Al and Marty, you are the most spectacular car dealers of all time, especially Al.
Give me that. It's signed. Al totally didn't write this.
See, it's completely unbiased.
Lease a 2019 Fusion SE for just $339 a month and 0 down. Visit Chicagoland's greatest dealers, only at Highland Park Ford Superstore.
We're Al and Marty. Deal with us.
Plus tax, license, title, and $179.81 doc fee. 10,500 miles per year, 36 months, $0 security deposit. Offer ends 12/2/19.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I've been taking it for 5 years, and I have not been sick once. You know, I mean, I tell people all the time, I went to Texas 3 years ago with my wife and my son. We were all in the same hotel room. I was sleeping in the middle of them. They were both so sick, hacking away. My daughter called from Jersey. She was sick. She threw up. I never got sick. So nobody can tell me these things don't work. I mean, I'm thrilled with it. I really am. I just don't get sick. I don't even get colds anymore. It's amazing.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
A lost dog, not a lost cause. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press, available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
7:37 AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Kennedy delays start at Cumberland. It is 49 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 29 from Montrose, 20 in the express lane. How about 26 minutes downtown of the airport? Eden's 22 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Eisenhower inbound got a crash 83 in the left lane. Delays start at 390. We're looking at an hour from 390 to downtown, 30 minutes from Manheim, outbound 38 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 40 to I-34 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 21 minutes, 90 to the merge, Bishop 420. The northbound tri-state is heavy, 87th, 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway most of the way to Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial tight, 75th to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Alamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, not as cold today. Clouds and sunshine mixed and a high near 40. There's some snow in the forecast for the overnight hours and a low of 31. 24 degrees at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
Don't miss Sean Hannity, Michelle Malkin, and Laura Logan at Freedom Summit 2019. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So after the resolution was passed yesterday to provide a veneer over Schiff's Star Chamber proceedings and give Nancy Pelosi the opportunity to beat her hand on the podium saying this is all about the rule of law, nobody's above the law, and so on and so forth, House Republicans responded with some specifics as to how things have been playing out that run contrary to what Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff have been describing. Here's Lee Zeldin from New York.
Now, you all are being used. Some of you are happy about it. Some of you are not. But many of you are reporting 0% of the story. There was one story that came out yesterday in Politico that was filled with falsehoods. Just somebody lied to you. I watched CNN last night and I saw a host, one allegation after another, say stuff that just was not true. Your sources, those Dems in that bunker, are trying to create a narrative because Adam Schiff aspires to write the world's greatest parody. And I'll tell you what, right now as we're here, 2 floors below us, in the bunker, Adam Schiff's bunker in the Capitol basement, Adam Schiff is tearing up his parody. He's going to have to rewrite it. Why is that? Well, we can't talk about, they say, the substance of the depositions, but I'll tell you, isn't it kind of curious that you don't know what's going on today with Tim Morrison in his deposition? Why is it that you don't have the information, the opening statements? He was Alex Vinneman's boss. On the substance, as Jim Jordan just pointed out, the Ukraine aid was not even known to be held up by Ukraine. They did not say anything to us until just before it was released. And then it was released. And as Jim Jordan pointed out, guess what Ukraine had to do in order to get that hold released? Nothing. Now, Adam Schiff needs to release all the transcripts right now. On behalf...
And he also made the additional point about invoking the name of Joe and Hunter Biden.
And I don't believe that Zlochevsky, Burisma, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden should be immune from scrutiny just because Joe Biden is running for president.
Indeed, and he certainly hasn't been, at least publicly, if not legally. Doug Collins, who's the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee, where normally you would think the impeachment inquiry would reside, had this to say about Adam Schiff playing judge, special prosecutor, witness, defense, essentially criminal defense attorney, serving the interests, representing the witnesses that are before his committee being questioned.
So I ask you as members of the media, how can the American people trust this Judiciary Committee, which the Speaker of the House doesn't trust, to handle an impeachment article? I tell you what, when it gets to the Judiciary Committee, I do have one thing for Mr. Schiff. If he wants to be, as said, a special counsel, he set himself up, then here's my challenge to Mr. Schiff. You want to be Ken Starr? Be Ken Starr. Come to the Judiciary Committee, be the first witness, and take every question asked of you.
Yeah, here.
Starting with your own involvement with the whistleblower. Folks, this ain't over. Get ready. The cloud that is dropping will be dropping on their heads because process matters, and substance will always win out in the end, and this president has nothing to worry about on substance. I yield back.
So for those who thought there was not as much fight as there needed to be among the Republican caucuses, House and Senate, I think you've heard from a lot of Republicans this week, the press conference of House Republicans yesterday, a number of senators, Graham, Perdue, Scott this week, that there's plenty of fight based on what the Democrats are trying to ramrod through while gaslighting the electorate's minds, collective mind. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Julie Kelly, senior contributor for American Greatness, amgreatness.com, and also a programming note. Julie and the editor of the American Greatness outlet, Chris Buskirk, will be doing a fall preview of the 2020 election this coming Thursday, November 7th, at Gibson's Bar and Steakhouse, in the one in Oakbrook, not the downtown location, the Oakbrook location. You can RSVP to Colleen Rotkus, ROTKIS, Colleen Rotkus at Gmail, or I assume get more information at amgreatness.com. But Chris Buskirk, Julie Kelly, Thursday, November 7th at Gibson's in Oakbrook for a 2020 election preview. Julie, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Morning. So how did you react to what the Republicans had to say in response to this basically party line vote on that non-impeachment resolution yesterday?
I mean, I was happy to hear it. I'm glad to hear what Lee Zeldin and Doug Collins and others are threatening to do. I think that Adam Schiff and the Democrats should be very nervous about that, because we do know from some of the testimony from both Michael Atkinson, who was the Inspector General for the intelligence community, Bill Taylor, who's the acting ambassador to the Ukraine, and now the latest hero, Alexander Vindman. We know that there's discrepancies in their testimony under questioning from Republicans, so I hope that they do release those transcripts and release them soon.
Was there anything positive about the House, taking the formal vote for an impeachment inquiry? Because the only thing that I see is the fact that we can now hear and see the witnesses testifying, because all the rest has been hearsay so far behind closed doors.
I think that that's true, Amy. I think that in many ways, this is probably going to backfire. And I think that that's one reason why. I mean, look, we know who the whistleblower is, too. The incuriosity of the news media. So now we know the whistleblower is a Democratic operative who worked in the Obama White House, who worked for John Brennan, former CIA director, who worked for Joe Biden. He was let go by the White House in mid-2017 amid suspicions he was leaking information. Somehow he ended up back at Langley at CIA, and he is the whistleblower. And I don't think that that's been reported by any major news organization except for, it was confirmed on Real Clear Investigations and the Federalist and other outlets. But it's certainly not in the New York Times. It's not on CNN. Not on nobody is covering who this guy is.
They have to protect him. They have to protect him. They have to protect his safety.
I know, like he's getting death threats or something. I mean,
yeah, he's getting the same death threats from the same people that Katie Hill is. They're all getting death threats from the same people. And Susan Buchanan in Oak Park.
Right.
It's the same group of nomadic threateners that go around threatening people that are in the public's crosshairs. Yeah.
Because Schiff was even thinking about him not testifying for his own safety.
Of course.
Like, we're going to move on from that. You know why he did that? I think because this guy's not a credible witness.
We can't keep CIA analysts safe.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, but his name hasn't been reported by the media. Then we have Michael Atkinson, who I've reported on, who worked also for Obama's DOJ, who worked directly for two people tied to not only the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, but also the setup of Mike Flynn. He worked directly for those two people. And actually, Senator Tom Cotton, in a letter to Michael Atkinson, the person who thought that this whistleblower complaint was of urgent concern, he had to notify Congress right away because I guess I'm not exactly sure what the urgent concern was, except he wanted to help fuel Adam Schiff's latest impeachment fantasy. Senator Cotton called Michael Atkinson obstructive and insolent in his testimony. Let's see that testimony. Let's see how the watchdog of the intelligence community, who took this political operative's manufactured complaint, called it of urgent concern, notified Schiff's committee several times about it. It got to the press. Let's hear what he had to say under questioning by Republicans in the Senate Intelligence Committee. Let's get it all out. I mean, let's get it on. Let's transparency. Let's find out who all of these people are. Let's see what they said under questioning. And then the American people will get a full airing of exactly what's been going on, how this impeachment is just another perpetuation of the Trump-Russia collusion hoax and every other thing they've tried to throw at the president to oust him from office.
Now, the big story this week, of course, related to al-Baghdadi, not the hunting down and taking out of al-Baghdadi. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the big story. The big story of Trump tweeting out a meme about the dog involved with that special ops team, tweeting out a meme of him conferring the Medal of Honor to that dog with our soldiers, our special forces that took out Baghdadi.
Well, that dog is going to the White House.
That is a huge, that zero bark 30.
No, but he is going to be honored at the White House. Trump's
yeah, but what are we going to do about Trump tweeting out that meme? That's the big story.
Well, that's why they couldn't, track down who the whistleblower was, because they were too worried tracking down who put this meme together.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, you know what?
I mean, that's the real news.
I bet it's Nakula. I bet it's the same guy who did that video that led to the attack at the Benghazi compound. It's it's all coming
his
together.
His name is Conan, okay, and he chased down that ISIS leader, and he's being honored at getting a hero's welcome at the White House.
Yeah, but a meme.
Week. Well, I know.
There's a meme, though, and Trump tweeted it. What are we going to do about it? This is a crisis. This man is unfit for office. Impeach him over the meme.
Do you think they'll give Conan McDonald's fast food?
You're like, he's
just like,
a Clemson football player?
Yeah.
Racist. Sorry, Julie. So, about that meme, by the way, the Medal of Honor recipient whose face was replaced with Conan, the heroic dog, he loved the meme, by the way. But it doesn't.
Oh yeah, if the person that's supposed to be offended isn't offended, then it's not offensive.
The New York Times is offended, and that's what matters. Right, Julie?
I mean, I've written about this. The left will ruin everything, right? They absolutely will ruin anything, especially if it's related to Donald Trump. And I mean, I saw a lot of news outlets really get hammered for that and making fun of the reporters. There was I think it was Voice of America reporter who was the first one to question, this is not on the president's agenda today. I mean, there was nothing on here about a dog receiving a Medal of Honor. Like, what is happening? He was legit confused. And you're just like, but as you know from covering the media, especially the last 4 years, and if you want to read more about it, I suggest getting Lee Smith's new book because he really delves into how the media is complicit, right? They're not doing this accidentally. It's not just because they're stupid, lazy people. It is because they're as corrupt as the people who are running this impeachment probe. And so, any chance they have to hammer Trump, even, a heroic dog and a funny meme about it, they'll spoil that too.
Although, again, to defend the D.C. press corps, it can be confusing. I read this story about a Labrador that was sworn in the Cook County State's Attorney's office, and I thought that a Labrador was replacing Kim Fox as our Cook County State's Attorney, which I find credible. And I think the Labrador, whose name is Hattie, would do just as good a job.
Hattie's going to be good to help with little kids who have to testify. It'll be, she'll be in the witness booth with them.
But before I see a meme and make a meme and create confusion, Hattie is not replacing Kim Fox as the Cook County State's Attorney.
Hattie's not.
We are not going to have a Labrador as a Cook County State's Attorney. Not yet, at
Hattie's
least.
cute. Have you seen Hattie?
Someday, I hope. All right, Julie.
I mean, look, we can't do much worse. Can we just vacate all of D.C. and and just replace them with German Shepherds? I think we'd be better off.
I like it. I think that's a good. There you go. I just gave you inspiration for your next piece. Julie Kelly.
I'm going to run for president.
Julie,
that alone.
Yeah. It's the there's a third-party track for that kind of idea. Julie Kelly, senior contributor for amgreatness.com. And again, she and her colleague, the founder and editor of amgreatness.com, Chris Buskirk, are going to be at Gibson's doing a fall 2020 election preview this coming Thursday, November 7th, Gibson's in Oak Brook. So if you want to hear them live and in person, ask questions live and in person, attend that event. Julie, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Take care.
Yep. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The annual enrollment for Medicare is coming soon, so we're here at Health Markets, a free service to help make sure you have the right Medicare plan. Mike, there's a lot going on here.
There sure is. Health Markets has invented the Fit Score to instantly compare thousands of Medicare plans from national insurance companies. In minutes, folks can find out if their current plan is the right fit or if there's another plan that can provide extra coverage and help save money. Best of all, the service is free.
So what Medicare benefits could people be missing out on?
A lot. Plans with $0 copays, $0 deductibles, and $0 premiums. Plans that include dental and vision coverage, or diabetic supplies, hearing aids, and more at no additional cost. With so many choices, our advice is don't go it alone when there's a free, unbiased service that can help.
Go to healthmarkets.com or call 800-730-1372. That's 800-730-1372. 800-730-1372.
They've arrived. Balance of Nature pills are here. You want one, Dan? Or is this too healthy for you?
I'm still wrapping my mind around whether or not Hattie is. You're sure Hattie, the Labrador, is not going to be the Cook County State's Attorney?
I'm positive.
All right.
And Conan, the hero dog, is going to the White House next week.
For like a state dinner?
He's going to get a hero's welcome.
What about the Medal of Honor?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. He's not going to Medal of Honor. But he is going to be honored. I wonder if he's going to have a driver drop him off. He's like, stop here, please. And then Trump will open the door.
Is he going to wear a
He'll
tux?
walk
Is it a
out.
formal event?
It's not a formal event, no.
Oh.
But I can't wait. It's going to be great. You know what? Because Trump's been looking for a dog, too. Maybe this should be his dog. That's a good one. All right, back to Balance of Nature. 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. If you take your daily dose of 6 capsules a day. I met a wonderful man when I was at Online Trading Academy who said he's been taking Balance of Nature for 5 years. And I said, well, what's the difference? He goes, well, my immune system's great. I haven't gotten sick. I feel good. He was in great shape, by the way. So was his wife. And he said, I don't feel any older. Now, how many of us can say in 5 years, especially from age 50 to 55, that we haven't aged? There's no aches and pains. He's alive, awake, ready to go in the morning, has plenty of energy. I just think that is an astounding testimonial to Balance of Nature. And you can take Balance of Nature, too. And right now, when you order, you will get 35% off and free shipping. Balance of Nature, this offer may end anytime, so do not wait. And call right now. They have life coaches standing by. Yes, they're not just operators. They're here to help you. 800-246-8751. Ask about Dr. Howard's Health Challenge for the holidays. Again, that number, 800-246-8751. 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or simply go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
Hey everyone, Ken here. For 2 years now, you've heard Carrie and I use metaphors to test to see if you think your home or your business could use a revenue shot in the backside. Today, because of our new website, I can be a little bit more direct. Income Store has 2 doors. If you have more time than money, you're going to live under door number 1. You're going to see over 400 digital assets, 5 to 20 minutes apiece, that'll teach you how to manage numbers and lead people, or show you 6 growth tips you've never heard of. All of this so you can start growing your home or your business revenue literally immediately. If you have more money than time, door number 2 is going to be for you. You can view some of our managed services, look for more done-for-you packages. 34% of Americans in 2018 visited one of our managed services. Forbes 3 years in a row quoted, Income Store is an expert at generating home or business revenue. If you'd love to explore how to check out adding revenue to your home or business, just go to incomestore.com. That's incomestore.com.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. Permaseal hears story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't want your living room or bedroom getting wet, do you? Then why would you settle for a wet basement? For over 40 years, Permaseal's team believes your basement should be dry no matter how hard it rains. That's right, you can have a permanently dry basement. Just give them a call at 800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Roy Spencer started Permaseal back in 1979, and it's still a local Chicagoland family business doing the right thing and standing behind their work. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-SEAL or permaseal.net.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I had a different idea what the story was going to be when I read the headline. Boston man sues Dyson for $2.3 million after being emasculated by a vacuum cleaner. I thought he was.
That is such a great headline. I have to know the rest.
I thought he was emasculated because he had to actually use the vacuum cleaner, like his wife made him vacuum rather than her doing it.
Excuse me.
You know what I mean?
Well, wait. Do you even own a vacuum?
I have a cleaning service.
That bring in their own cleaning supplies? Have you ever bought a vacuum in your life?
No. People buy that stuff. I don't have time.
Well, what if you spill or Hayek the hair with Hayek? You need a vacuum.
If I could sue Dyson for $2.3 million for emasculating me by forcing me to have the...
Enough about you. What do you think of you?
Well, Matthew Blair, he was transported to Boston Medical last month. A 96-hour-long surgical procedure that cost him $1.2 million in medical fees. Surgeons were forced to remove one of Blair's testicles, as well as the top section of his penis, requiring 37 stitches and leaving him practically impotent because of his inability to maintain an erection for more than several seconds. I think they got a blue pill for that. Mr. Blair testified in court, "I don't recognize my penis anymore. It's all flabby and limp, and I'm missing a...
And I'm missing a ball. And I'm missing a bit.
I'm missing a ball. Wait, the Matthew Blair story.
Okay, I'm trying to visualize this.
It seems that what he did was he stuck his wee-wee into the Dyson.
Oh, yeah, to try to do what a pill could do for him?
I always say, if you're going to use a vacuum for that...
Make sure the vacuum bag's clean?
Hoover has a better product. Where's the rest of me? I'm missing a ball. The Matthew Blair story.
Okay, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to have to take a cleansing breath after that.
It is 8 a.m., AM 560, WIND Chicago.
A lot more Americans were hired last month. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but at the same time, the unemployment rate also went up off its 50-year low. Fox's Ginny Casola details the Just Out report live.
Dave, despite the General Motors strike and the anticipated impact to auto suppliers, the Labor Department says 128,000 new jobs were created in October, stronger than predicted, and the number of new jobs for the previous 2 months was revised higher. The unemployment rate rose slightly to 3.6% as expected. Workers are making a little more money. The average wages paid to American workers rose 0.2%. Dave?
Ginny, this positive reaction on Wall Street. Dow futures up over 100 points. President Trump, who keeps calling the House impeachment inquiry over his call with Ukraine's leader a hoax, is considering a new way to push back.
In an interview with the Washington Examiner last night, he proposed perhaps a somewhat new, somewhat old way of doing things. He told the Examiner, quote, "At some point, I'm going to sit down perhaps as a fireside chat, like what FDR did on live television, and I will read the transcript of the call."
Fox's Kristen Fisher. Democrats believe he violated his oath of office, asking Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and son. The president also tweeted last night he plans to leave New York City once he's out of office, writing he's been treated very badly. He'll move to his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida. New York's Democratic governor replied, "Good riddance." It's back to school today for kids in Chicago. Now the teachers are back in class, ending their strike. But a little girl is in a hospital instead after she was shot trick-or-treating. Fox's Jeff Manasso live in Chicago.
Dave, shots fired on Chicago's southwest side during trick-or-treating last night, shattering windows and sending people running for their lives.
A little girl has been shot at 26 Lawndale.
Police dispatch a 7-year-old girl shot in the chest, now in critical condition. Another man believed to be the target of gang members also shot. Police continue searching for the suspects. Dave?
Jeff, a shooting at a Halloween house party last night in Orinda, California left 4 people dead. America's listening to Fox News.
Sunshine, 24 degrees, 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Well, if you got your measuring stick out, you know that Halloween yesterday was the snowiest on record in the city of Chicago, shattering the daily record for October 31st set back in 2014. Also the second heaviest ever calendar day in October for snowfall, just behind the 3.8 inches that fell back in 1989. Chicago Public School students are returning to class after missing 11 days of school because of teachers walking picket lines. The work stoppage came to an end after CTU and Mayor Lightfoot agreed that only 5 days lost to the strike would be made up.
In the interest of our students and our parents who have been suffering, it was important to me to make sure that we got our kids back in class. Enough is enough.
The district still needs to figure out when those makeup days will take place. Illinois' vaping death toll is rising. The Department of Public Health saying a third person died after getting sick from vaping. 80% of those who've gotten sick by vaping vaped marijuana. Bulls will try to get back on track when they host the Pistons later tonight. 49ers now 8-0 after a Thursday night football win over Arizona. Blackhawks visit the Kings tomorrow night, and the White Sox trade away Wellington Castillo to the Rangers in exchange for minor leaguer Jonah McReynolds. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. It's a service of Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The market will be reacting today to the Labor Department's update on the job market, the October employment report. Insurance company AIG reported a profit in its recent quarter compared with a loss a year ago. Shares of craft website Etsy are losing more ground after a sell-off yesterday. The stock was down more than 15% because of concerns about the company's growth. Etsy's dealing with the introduction of state sales taxes, and it says sellers have not raised prices much to make up for the cost of adding free shipping. It's the 40th anniversary of McDonald's Happy Meal, and to celebrate, next week, McDonald's is bringing back some popular Happy Meal toys from the past. Among those returning, the McDonald's Hot Wheels Thunderbird, the Hamburglar, My Little Pony, and Power Rangers. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
With all the noise and political spin of the news cycle, it's easy for the things that really matter to get lost. Sources with knowledge cuts through all the clutter to bring you biting commentary on the week's events. This Sunday at 3 p.m., your hosts Eric Cohn and Joe Kaiser bring you insight on politics and policy, as well as culture, sports, food, and everything else you need, so you can understand what's happened this week. It's Sources with Knowledge this Sunday at 3 p.m. right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Attention maintenance coordinators. Fans are a vital part of your business's building or factory. You've got to keep the air moving. But when they break down or need service, who can you call? Vans Industrial repair all types of fans, from small wall fans to large air movers.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Fan repair is one of many services that Vans offers. If you have a fan with a damaged shaft, bearing, impeller, or housing, we can help. And if you need a new fan, we handle all major brands and can provide engineering assistance to properly size your new fan. Our crews can respond to your emergencies or routine maintenance and will have your fan back up and running fast. And when we're done repairing your fan, we can also dynamically balance it so it runs smooth for years to come.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to get your fan repaired today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
I'm Dr. Jeff Gooden, and I treat pain with Salon Pas. That's because practicing good medicine is my responsibility as a doctor. For back or joint pain, I agree with CDC guidance that recommends using topical pain relievers first, like Salon Pas Patch Large. Salon Pas is powerful, FDA approved to relieve debilitating moderate pain, yet non-addictive and gentle on the body. Look for the green Salon Pas box in the pain relief aisle. Salon Pas, it's good medicine.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
8:07 AM 560 Traffic Center time. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Eastbound Adams Tollway I-90 traffic's now very heavy. Arlington Heights Road to Chewy. Eastbound Reagan Tollway, it's a bit tight. Highland a bit west. Northbound Tri-State delays continue between 87th and 31st, and in pockets from Reagan Tollway to Lawrence. Northbound Veterans Memorial, it's bottled up. Fountain Toll to Reagan Tollway at Army Trail to 290. Southbound 53 is jammed. Randy Kirchhoff. Aiden's 22 minutes. Lake Cook to Junction. Kennedy, 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. No savings in the Express. Eisenhower an hour. 390 to downtown. There was a crash at 83. Stevenson an hour. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 34 minutes from 95th. Southbound Lakeshore Drive is heavy. Foster to North Avenue. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Not as cold today. We'll see clouds and sun. The high today at 40. Clouds and cold tonight. A bit of snow moving in, accumulating a coating to an inch, low 31. And then cold tomorrow, times of clouds and sun. The high tomorrow, 38. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
24 degrees at O'Hare. A little bit of sunshine is broken out. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I got some good news for you.
CPS strike is over? Oh, that's old news.
Bill and Hillary were at
getting
Georgetown University. They're going to renew their vows. Yeah. No, that's not it.
Oh, shoot. I wanted to go. I wanted to be the ring bearer.
Bill and Hillary were at Georgetown University in some sort of panel discussion. Also, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, or a doll that looked like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was there with them.
Was she
mental
acuity there? Was she?
I don't know. I don't know that she was able to speak. It looked remarkably lifelike. Anyway, Bill, the former flirt in chief, sent a tingle down Chris Matthews' leg with this one.
God, she may or may not ever run for anything, but I can't legally run for president again.
She may or may not, and she was right there with him.
Oh, did they hold hands?
It was just like the Yale Law Library all over again. They're so in love.
I wanted to touch her back, but I knew I couldn't.
So this is interesting because this against the backdrop of an interesting piece from John MacArthur at Spectator.us, Spectator USA. Elizabeth Warren is the Hillary Clinton of 2020. What if Hillary Clinton is the Hillary Clinton of 2020? We put that to John MacArthur, the publisher of Harper's Magazine, the author of the book The Selling of Free Trade, and a contributor to The Spectator. John, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how about it, huh?
Well, I tell you, it's a little far-fetched, but not that far-fetched. What I'm writing about in this piece is about the struggle, more than a struggle. It's a violent argument between the Clinton Democrats, the Clinton-Obama Democrats, and the Reform Democrats, who are generally aligned with Bernie Sanders. And the role Elizabeth Warren is playing in this fight seems to be to appease the Clinton Democrats. Now, these are the people who would, on the face of it, would like Joe Biden to be the nominee. He's one of their own. He's normally corrupt. He's all about jobs, money. He fits right in with this guy.
Yeah,
can work with this guy, right? He keeps the patronage and the money running on time. And Sanders, of course, he doesn't just want to become president. He wants to reform the Democratic Party, and they hate him for that. So Warren seems to be taking this position where she imitates Sanders on the policy issues, tries to look as left-wing and as reform-minded as Sanders. But in the meantime, she's appeasing the regular Democrats, and this will help the Clinton-Biden side of the party maintain control because they hope that she will knock Sanders out early in the primaries, and then, well, they'll deal with her later. I think that's the scenario. If Biden continues to stumble, which I have to say looks likely, Warren to them is more acceptable because she's more of a party regular, more cooperative than Sanders.
Well, and right on cue with what you're saying, this breaking news alert from no less than the Gray Lady, Elizabeth Warren proposing $20.5 trillion in new federal spending for Medicare for all, financed by taxes on business and the wealthy. Just when billionaires were getting comfortable with the idea of her 3% wealth tax, now we've doubled it to 6 because I got to figure out a way to answer this question I've been dodging for the last 6 months.
Right. And Sanders, of course, is much more, I think, more sincere, more authentic. Has said, it's going to cost more money in taxes, and I hope it's going to reduce health care costs. She's dodging it because she wants to leave herself room for maneuver if she gets to be the nominee. I would bet against her at this point because I don't think that the guard dogs, and I'm talking about the Rahm Emanuel types, who are the guard dogs of the Democratic Party, they don't want her either. I mean, they don't trust her either. But they really better her than Sanders, because Sanders wants he wants to take over the party. I say in my article that she signed a pledge. It was reported in the New York Times, which was an advertisement for her reliability. She said she signed a pledge put out by the Association of State Democratic Committees saying she wouldn't try to compete with the state Democratic parties. She wouldn't try to create a parallel organization. This is exactly what Sanders has done with Our Revolution. He's competing directly with the Democratic National Committee, and they hate him for it. So Warren to them looks like a better bet. She's also, NBC News did a story a couple months back about her conversations with Hillary Clinton. And this is, I think, anecdotally the best evidence to support my thesis. Did you all follow the flap over Tulsi Gabbard?
Sure, of course.
I mean, So
I mean, the Russian
Hillary,
agent, yeah.
Right. Hillary seemingly weirdly, she comes out and says she's a Russian asset, right? And she's a danger to democracy. She's setting herself up for a third-party run. Now, it's absurd. It's an absurd charge, but it's calculated to attack Sanders indirectly. Sanders responds, says this is absurd. Tulsi Gabbard's a veteran of the Iraq War, and the idea that she's a Russian asset is absurd.
If Bernie Sanders knows anything, it's Russian assets.
Well, I don't know, but anyway, he defends her. Elizabeth Warren, not a word. I think she's got a non-aggression pact with Hillary Clinton.
And also, too, but she wouldn't, when Kamala Harris was suggesting that Trump be banned from Twitter during that last debate, and she kept asking Elizabeth Warren to join her, she ignored her. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't trust her. That's the bottom line. But she, like Hillary Clinton, used to be registered Republicans.
Yeah. Remember, I'm from Cook County, so I know the political. I used to work for the Sun-Times. I know the political landscape very well. And as you all know, Hillary was a Goldwater Republican growing up in Park Ridge, and Warren was a fairly conservative, free market Republican, who made a shift in the late 90s to a more interventionist, regulatory kind of politician. But she's in a conflict because she's trying to play regular party loyalists. I won't rock the boat with the party, and radical on the left. And I don't think you can have it both ways. And believe me, Rahm Emanuel, John Podesta, people like that, they don't trust her.
Well, not only that, they also think that she has taken positions like Bernie that make her unelectable, that guarantee a loss, like this rescinding the private health insurance of 150 million Americans. That's at least what that's what they've said.
Yeah, well, I don't agree with that thesis, and simply because I think the key issue in this election, as it was in 2016, was the abandoned working class in the Midwest. I know these people. I've done a lot of reporting on it, and you got millions of Obama voters who switched to Trump in 2016. Right? They did it for a reason. They didn't do it because of Russian interference. They did it because of NAFTA and permanent normal trade relations with China. These two trade deals that sent way more than 1 million jobs, industrial jobs overseas into Mexico. And Sanders beat Clinton in the Wisconsin and Michigan primaries for the same reason that Trump beat her in the general election in those two states, because of the trade deals. Those people remember NAFTA. It's like a dirty word in those states, and that's the regular Democratic Party pushed that through. Richard M. Daley and Rahm Emanuel and all these people who are still running the Democratic Party, the Clintons, and those people were ready to vote for Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton.
Well, if Biden is going to continue to
they did vote for her.
Yeah.
Sorry,
If Biden is going to continue to bumble, as you suggest, and I think that's likely, and if Elizabeth Warren's not going to be able to keep this two-step going, and Kamala Harris is circling the drain trying to relaunch her campaign, then are we looking at the mayor of South Bend as your Democrat Party nominee?
I don't think so, but there are a lot of people, a lot of the big money in the party likes him. There's a lot of money going his way. This is the crazy thing in the Democratic Party. There's a total split between the billionaire class that supports the Wall Street people who support the party, who pay for the campaigns, and the base, which is more and more left wing, more and more anti-Wall Street. And I don't know how they're going to reconcile it. There's going to be a bloodletting, and the bloodletting is going to benefit Trump if he survives impeachment.
Oh, he'll survive. You don't think he'll survive impeachment?
I don't know. Crazy things can happen in a trial. And, if they put Donald McGahn on the stand to talk about what happened when Trump tried to get Mueller fired. I don't know if you read the Mueller report, but McGahn, excuse me, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on here.
Yeah, we talked about it.
McGahn's quoted saying, Trump called me and told me to do all this crazy shit.
Yeah, right.
Well, okay, so what was it? Okay, well, if they put him on the stand and he starts describing what that stuff was, Republican votes could shift for conviction. I don't know.
Yeah,
anything can happen in a trial.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Although I don't know that right now, if there's not something of a blockbuster nature, the trajectory of this doesn't seem to be doing much to move people one direction or the other. I'm talking about actual human beings, not politicians.
Yeah, well, but it's hard to know how senators will vote. There's a really good book out on the Andrew Johnson impeachment trial from 1868 by Brenda Wineapple, which I recommend to everybody. You get a real insight into the political infighting that goes on during a full-blown impeachment trial. But anyway,
all right.
I don't make predictions like that. What I'm seeing in the Democratic Party, though, I think is very interesting, and it's very misleading to think that Elizabeth Warren is only a reform-minded left-winger. I think she's being used and being played by the regular Dems, by the Clintons. And for all I know, you guys may be right that Hillary is plotting her return, which would be a catastrophe. A catastrophe.
That's why I'm rooting for it. John MacArthur, publisher of Harper's, author of the book The Selling of Free Trade, and a contributor to The Spectator. His piece, which I'll tweet out at Dan Proft, Elizabeth Warren is the Hillary Clinton of 2020. John, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Want your home's furnace to stay safe and reliable? And want to prevent any potential problems before they happen? At your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, we recommend an annual furnace inspection and tune-up. Right now, get big savings on a furnace tune-up. Call 855-1-HOUR. Because not taking care of your furnace, that's just cold.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Oh, Justin got one on my pillow. Justin, how you sleeping with your new pillow, your new BFF?
Oh, I love it. My dog loves it too.
Oh, yeah, somersault or cartwheel. What's your dog's name?
That's somersault.
How's it going with somersault?
That's good. It's still early, so she's got to learn to go potty outside.
Yeah. You can't. So you can get her a pet bed. Do you know that, Justin? You can get her a pet bed at mypillow.com. Click Amy in the promo code, and you'll get 30% off that pet bed. $29.99 for a MyPillow. That's unheard of. That's the lowest price ever offered. And you can get the whole body pillow, which provides the perfect comfort for support for your entire body. Regularly $89.99, but with promo code Amy, it's only $29.99. And all products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener specials box, and get deep discounts on all products, including the MyPillow mattress topper, the Giza cotton sheets, and now there's towels. Find it all at mypillow.com. Promo code Amy.
Message and data rates may apply.
Help! Seriously, I am too young for hair loss.
My hairline keeps creeping back. Receding?
I've got this bald spot.
It's thinning everywhere.
I'm gonna have to give up and shave it.
Dude, put down the razor, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is about to give you your real hair back permanently. Don't ignore the signs of hair loss. Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals all the signs, and a free gift card to anyone who texts SECRET to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off, no matter what level of hair loss you have. Text SECRET to 85850. That's SECRET to 85850.
Fall is here. Well, it felt like winter yesterday, and maybe your energy level is falling. Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, or maybe you have seasonal allergies. Here's what we do know. You are not getting enough fruits and vegetables in your diet. That pumpkin spice in your latte does not count as a vegetable. And think of all the money we spend on produce, and a lot of it goes uneaten. A lot of it rots in the refrigerator. Do something easy and convenient and healthy. Start taking Balance of Nature. With just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. You hear stories right here on the station all the time about how people's lives have changed by taking a Balance of Nature. And the next story could be yours, but you have to order Balance of Nature today. And right now when you call, they're not operators, they're coaches who are standing by. And feel free to ask them about Dr. Howard's Health Challenge. The number to call, 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
If you're age 59 and a half or older with a 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Wealth Management Group today at 833-WMG-PLAN. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can help save you thousands in 401k fees and potentially reduce your risk of a market correction. You've worked and saved, and now is the time to manage your retirement savings. Call Craig Bolanos of Wealth Management Group today at 833-WMG-PLAN. Securities and financial planning offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC. AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy would like to thank Elizabeth Warren and Ilhan Omar and all the socialists from around the country who rallied for the teachers in Chicago. Teachers.
They're back in school.
Well, I know that.
I'm out there in class already. It started at 8.
Those CTU apparatchiks, though.
Yeah.
There's a word for them. And don't take it from me. Take it from Allison Eichhorn, just a regular rank and file teacher, apparently.
And she was at the bargaining table, right?
Apparently from her Twitter feed, it seems like that.
She's definitely a delegate. We know that.
Tweeting yesterday. I don't have the capacity to post much right now. I can say that while this strike has been the last 2 weeks of our members' lives, it's been the last 6 weeks of my life.
Cue the music.
We started bargaining nearly every day towards the end of September.
Oh.
So much of the team has sacrificed so much of their lives, their happiness, time with family, and more. Did their family want to be with them? We don't know.
We don't know.
In the last 2 weeks, our 25,000 members have taken a risk and put their faith in our process. They went on a legal strike and called out the people in power for their support of a system that harms our students every day. They got on the picket lines, 6:30 in the morning they were up.
Yeah, and by the way, 6:30 eventually led to 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30.
You can't keep up that pace. You can't keep up a 6:30 everyday pace.
But they were done at 10, so...
You can't keep up that pace. You can't keep up a 3.5-hour workday pace. Nobody can do that. That's inhuman. 6:30 in the morning every day advocating for students. They went all for period, our period, students, period. You want to know how much we talked about teacher pay at the bargaining table, Miss Jacobson, with your smart mouth? About 1/100th of the time that we talked about staffing and class size. That's how much. How dare you suggest otherwise?
But they're actually talking about money when they're talking about staffing and nurses and social workers and class
She's
size.
not hearing that noise, sister. I don't care what you think about public sector unions. Our teachers and support staff are.
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
Yes.
They're heroes.
A couple more bars, please. Don't you think they deserve it?
Yes. Oh, you're everything I thought.
Yeah. A couple more. A little bit of effort.
Fly higher than an eagle.
Yeah.
You are the wind beneath my wing. You're the wind beneath my wing.
Now say by name. Jesse Sharkey, Stacey Davis Gates, Allison Eichhorn. Be specific. Now, again from the top.
Heroes?
Yes. Again from the top.
No, she's no hero. I just hope I never run into any of them on the street.
What are you going to do?
What you going to do about it?
You,
what you going to do? You want a piece of me? You want to go?
Did you have like some Chinese stars or nunchucks left over from your childhood?
There's some Swedish items that people don't know about.
Oh, sure. Swedish mafia. No question.
Yeah, you don't know us. Yeah, we exist, but you don't know about us. All right, so go on. Because the key part of that letter is about taking the bank, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
Because that's what everybody was talking about at the Halloween party.
She tweeted something else, too. This is the call coming from inside the delegation. Jesse, they're on a first-name basis. It's Mr. Sharkey to you. Said he thinks we got all that we could. He said we took the tableware, we took the floorboards. Member gets up and says, well, this isn't $1 billion, so you need to go take the safe. Snap! And that's what they did. But they didn't need to take it because Lori Lightfoot was waiting at the door to hand it to them.
And students this morning, I'm not kidding you, even last night and this morning, their stomachs were knots because it's like they had to start school all over again.
I have a test tomorrow. Did you study anything? I tried to study as much as I could, but when I can't communicate with my teachers, there's no point. I'm going to fail that test tomorrow.
I just understand why they cut all communication off with the teachers, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I had no chance to ask them questions about it. And I have 2 tests.
Oh, young grasshoppers.
It was about the children.
In time, you will learn the wise ways of your elders at CPS and CTU.
Because we're going to have another strike in 5 years, and at that time,
Did you ever
will be
know
gone.
that you're my hero?
Little reverb,
Stacey
please.
Davis Gates.
Jesse Sharkey.
Lori Lightfoot. Chicago City Council.
Sybil Howard. I'm going to miss
Karen
Sybil.
Lewis. It's a pantheon of heroes in the Chicago public school system.
It's almost like they fought in Nam for us. You know?
Hey, you know what?
They had to get up at 6:30. Oh my God!
I wish I could do more, but let's just offer our collective heartfelt thank you.
A moment of silence.
Thank you for your service.
Strike of 2019. I did survive. I thought I was going to pull all my hair out, but I have aged 5 years, so that's good. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of pulling your hair out, the open enrollment period has commenced. We're going to talk about it with healthinsurancementors.com's C.S. Tucker at 8:38.
But now let's head straight into that newsroom. The one, the only, Mike Scott.
You can have the Bette Midler version. I'll take the Gary Morris version of that song. His version is so much better than Bette Midler's.
All right, I'll look it up.
Trust me on that. Sunshine, 24 degrees outside. Unemployment rate ticking up slightly in October. While the economy added 128,000 jobs, the rate rose 0.1% to 3.6 last month. Wildfire north of L.A. burning more than 8,000 acres. Fast-moving Maria fire in Ventura County is not at all contained right now and actually does threaten oil fields.
We still had a lot of equipment in Ventura County because of the Easy Fire. So what we did was we relocated a lot of that equipment over to this fire, and they're assisting us with this fire right now.
Ventura Fire Captain Steve Kaufman. President Trump expected to attack the House impeachment inquiry at a campaign rally tonight in Mississippi. House Republican leadership isn't happy about yesterday's vote.
The Speaker should follow her own words on what bipartisan vote on that floor and in the sham that has been putting this country through this nightmare. That's exactly what this vote shows today.
That's Kevin McCarthy, but Intelligence Committee Chair Adam Schiff says lawmakers must remember their constitutional responsibility.
We take no joy in having to move down this road and proceed with the impeachment inquiry, but neither do we shrink from it.
In case you haven't heard this morning, President Trump is now a Florida man. President announcing on Twitter he's moving his permanent residence from New York to Palm Beach, Florida. 7-year-old girl here in Chicago fighting for her life after she was shot while trick-or-treating in a bumblebee costume in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood. The child remains in critical condition, and another nearby man suffered a gunshot wound and is in stable condition. CPS students returning to class today after missing 11 days of school because of teachers walking picket lines. The district now needs to figure out exactly when makeup days will be added to the calendar. And a Palatine man pleading not guilty after being charged with driving an SUV through Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg in September. Bulls will try to get back on track when they host the Pistons tonight. The news is a service of Staples. Staples gives your business more for less. It's where you find the best printers at great prices. Right now, get up to $200 off HP LaserJet Pro 400 series printers at Staples for your business, tech, and beyond. In-store only, ends 11/16/19. See store or staples.com/HP 400 series for details. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher explains why Washington doesn't like the president.
It's way beyond just personality and tweets and temperament. No. This is the one guy who has successfully taken on the machine. The deep state is just on fire.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me, I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
8:37. Don't forget to fall back Sunday morning. We'll revisit daylight savings time on March 8 of 2020. Check the roads now. AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Eastbound Jane Addams Tollway I-90 traffic is snarled this morning from Arlington Heights Road to Dewey. Eastbound Reagan Tollway traffic tied 53 to Highland. Veterans Memorial and stop and go northbound 75th to Reagan Tollway. Southbound 53 is bottled up. Rand Road to Kirchhoff. Eden's 22 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction. Kennedy 49 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 31 from Montrose, 29 on the Express. Eisenhower 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. 30 from Manheim. Stevenson an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 34 minutes from 95th. I-57 has cleared up. Bishop Ford 21 minutes, 8094 to the merge. It's crashed at 159. That's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center forecast, not as cold today. Clouds and sunshine, high near 40. 25 degrees at O'Hare. A little bit of sunshine. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com. That's going out to you, Jesse Sharkey. Instant request from Mike Scott. Talking to you, Stacey Davis Gates.
And you, Lori Lightfoot. And you, Sybil
and
Howard.
And you.
Janice Jackson.
Wonderful
Thanks for,
job.
People with heart conditions like myself, it's a long 11 days. Actually, 15, including the weekends, wondering what's going to happen. You broke a lot of hearts out there, and you've lost a lot of parents for the rest of your lives. And a lot of teachers are looking for jobs in the suburbs. I know that for a fact. And a lot of us are looking for homes in the suburbs.
I don't care about those things because I found what I was looking for.
What did you look for?
I found 21,000 heroes and the feudal lords that oversee them.
Yeah.
Heroes. To a man and woman. Heroes. That's what part of the team there, Allison Eichhorn, said. That's what I say. Don't you forget it. Nice moment. Speaking of heroism, C.S. Tucker, he's a hero in the health insurance space, founder and principal broker for healthinsurancementors.com. The open enrollment period has started started today. And, of course, you've got competing visions for health insurance going forward that will inform, I suspect, a lot of votes in 2020. The $20.5 trillion Elizabeth Warren Medicare for All plan, no private health insurance, as one example. And then this plan that's been unveiled by House Republicans, spearheaded by Republican Study Committee Chairman Mike Johnson, who's a congressman from Louisiana, that does a number of things that one C.S. Tucker, who is an expert in the space, the first man to ever read the Obamacare legislation and to read it the fastest in recorded history.
It was an easy beach read for him.
He is calling this new RSC plan that I've referenced, the Mike Johnson plan, the best health care plan I have ever read. Those are big statements. That's Lori Lightfoot sort of tough talk. C.S. Tucker, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Good morning. This best health care plan you've ever read, a couple of the things that caught my attention featured in this plan from House Republicans, because this is where Republicans have been attacked. Extend HIPAA portability and pre-existing condition protections with employer-sponsored insurance to people in the individual marketplace, and also establish federally funded, state-administered guaranteed coverage pools to ensure individuals with high-cost illnesses have access to quality and affordable coverage, including that their coverage dynamics cannot change if they get ill, if they develop a new illness while they're under a current plan.
Yes, I can't believe it's been a decade, but a decade ago, I stood on a stage on a freakishly warm 74-degree day in Daley Plaza for the 2010 Chicago Tax Day Tea Party. And during that speech, I said, all you need is one sentence to fix the American healthcare system when it pertains to individual health insurance. And that is simply extend HIPAA portability protections to individual policies. Done. not 2,400 pages, not a complete overhaul of the American healthcare system. Just provide the same protections you have in the employer-sponsored market against pre-existing conditions to the individual marketplace. And believe it or not, it takes very few things to get me excited. These guys actually did it.
Well, it takes
So
about
now,
10 years for them to know what extend HIPAA portability means, actually. So that's about on schedule.
Exactly right. So there are two catastrophic failures with the ACA, Obamacare. The first was taking everyone who has the highest cost medical conditions and lumping them in with everyone else who does not have high cost medical conditions. And all that did was raise premiums for everybody else, right? As high as 260% increases in the individual marketplace. Then they also implemented medical loss ratios, which wiped out 88 health insurance companies in this nation. 17 of them gone from Illinois, and every single one of them gone from the state of Indiana, except for one, Ambetter, if you are unlucky enough to have to buy your own individual health insurance. So this plan fixes that. Then, the most immoral provision of Obamacare was providing a massive expansion of Medicaid to those who are not disabled, who are not single mothers, and children of the poor. Medicaid was designed as a safety net. Obamacare created a hammock for anyone with a pulse and less than 138% of the federal poverty level, which equates to $17,236 this year. And then what it did for those new Medicaid recipients is provide their providers who treat them a 90% reimbursement ratio compared to the 50% reimbursement ratio that legacy Medicaid recipients get. So there was a perverse incentive for providers to treat the new Medicaid recipients who, again,
at the
are
expense
not
of the
disabled.
old ones. Yes, right.
At the expense of the old ones.
Qualified under the old strictures that you were talking about, right.
That's exactly right. And so that increased Medicaid wait lists exponentially since the expansion of Medicaid. And again, for those who cannot help themselves. Many of the people who are new Medicaid recipients currently, they're not disabled. They can help themselves, and they're getting a higher rate of reimbursement. So it's a perverse incentive to treat those people, and it really disenfranchises those who can't help themselves. So that's it. Now, in addition to those two major corrections, we can finally have a health savings account that's allowed to be funded as high as the massive Obamacare deductibles. As you know, as of January 1, everyone who buys an Obamacare individual plan will have $8,150 out of pocket. I don't care if you buy a bronze, silver, or gold plan. I don't care how low your deductible is. You're going to be exposed to $8,150 per person times 2. So we can now put into our health savings accounts, if God willing this goes through, $18,000 into a health savings account, which is tax-free. And then we can use that money for the first time since I've been calling for it to pay for health insurance premiums. So what do we do there? We equalize the current unequal treatment between employer-sponsored health insurance and individual health insurance. These are simple, brilliant, common-sense solutions. And then we go a step further, and we codify President Trump's attempt to create association health plans. He did it by executive order in an attempt to change ERISA law. The lower court struck it down. But until they did strike it down, we had the Iowa Farm Bureau creating one of our nation's first association health plans in Iowa and Nebraska. People were enrolling. They had protections for pre-existing conditions. Their premiums were lower. Things were great. And then, of course, the resistors stopped it. So this codifies that into law. So we can create association health plans so people can group together and, of course, enjoy lower premiums and protections for pre-existing conditions. And then lastly, we reinstate how HIPAA law worked before Obamacare. As you know, 45 states in our union, long before anyone ever heard of Barack Obama, had state-based risk mitigation systems for people who were denied health insurance in the individual marketplace. But those rules were smarter than the ACA because they required a person to keep consistent health insurance coverage in place. Not wait till you're sick, never have health insurance, and then jump on the exchanges and drive up costs for everybody else because now you're sick. It requires you to keep at least 12 months of prior coverage in place, in force, so that the insurance companies can build up the necessary reserves to actually pay claims. It's the same principle as if you bought car insurance, but you were able to buy it after you wrecked your Maserati. It does not work. You have to buy car insurance before you wreck your Maserati. So health insurance will now once again work that way. If you have 12 months of prior coverage, all your pre-existing conditions will be covered from day one when you move from a group plan to another group plan, and now from an individual plan to another individual plan. And so if you don't have 12 months, you've only got 8 months, then you wait 4 months until your pre-existing conditions are covered. If you have 9 months of prior coverage, then you wait 3 months until your pre-existing conditions are covered. And that provides a strong impetus for people to stay in the health insurance marketplace so the insurance companies can build up the necessary reserves to actually pay claims.
And one other feature that you mentioned here, and this relates to people that have a gap in employment, may have to elect COBRA. You point out that this Republican plan would allow individuals to elect COBRA and then move to an individual plan without having to exhaust COBRA first.
Yes. Do you know how that's one of the Obamacare loopholes? It's a horrible situation. Somebody elects COBRA. It's, as you know, it's more than your mortgage payment to elect COBRA, but they want to elect COBRA and have to here in wonderful Chicagoland because you can't use an individual plan at Northwestern, University of Chicago, Rush, or take your sick child to Lurie Children's Hospital. So they try to swing these COBRA premiums. 2 months later, they realize they can't afford a second mortgage payment to pay for COBRA, and they can't buy an individual plan until January 1. So now, under the RSC health plan, you can leave your COBRA and go to an individual plan at any time and be protected against pre-existing conditions. This is common sense stuff.
Amy's sold.
I'm sold. I just listened to you talk. Like, that makes so much sense. But why are no lawmakers listening to you?
Well, some lawmakers are. This is the Republican Study Committee's plan. The question is, does it go anywhere, even if Trump is reelected, until you take the speaker's gavel away from Nancy Pelosi? And the answer to that is probably not, right, Stephen?
Probably not. But, look what's happening right now with Obamacare fully in place. There are left-wing states, blue states like Alaska, Maine, Maryland, Minnesota, New Jersey, Oregon, Wisconsin, that are filing 1332 waivers to get out of Obamacare to create their own state-based risk mitigation systems. Alaska did it. They were expecting a 40% increase. They got an increase of only 7% on their annual renewals. Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, Minnesota, Oregon, they're all escaping from Obamacare. If it's so great, why are they escaping from it?
Now, Democrats, I want to get your reaction to this little bit of theater that they pursued on the Senate side, not related to impeachment this week, shocking, but it was a resolution Democrats framed as a measure to reverse Trump administration efforts to undo these protections for people with pre-existing conditions. Patty Murray saying, we've been trying to put them on the record because all their actions with respect to people with pre-existing conditions go the other way, away from protection. They have criticized the waivers the Trump administration put out a year ago, which you were just talking about, especially the option of applying to have federal subsidies go to people who buy health insurance plans that don't cover pre-existing conditions.
Yes, right. Well, those are the short-term health plans now. As you know, I went to Springfield earlier this year to try to stop the Illinois Democrats from shrinking short-term plans down from 12 months, as they were restored under President Trump, to 6 months. And everyone within the sound of my voice needs to understand short-term health insurance plans in the state of Illinois are now dangerous for anyone to purchase because they only last for 6 months. So you buy that January 1, by the end of June, it's going to end. And if you're sick or injured, you will not be able to buy health insurance for another 6 months, which is a lifetime if that's a cancer diagnosis. So do not participate in these plans in the state of Illinois. They are extremely dangerous.
All right. He is C.S. Tucker. He's the founder and principal broker for healthinsurancementors.com. And as you can now understand, he is a hero to both Amy and me.
Right.
Yes. C.S. Tucker, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
And
Thank you, guys.
He joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Scoundrels are not exclusive to politics. They're smart enough to occupy necessity service industries like the automotive business. As a real estate broker, my car is a lifeline and a total necessity to my business and my family, which is why I had to seek out an honest, truthful auto service provider. For over the past decade, I've put my trust in Craigies Mobile Service Center on Lake Street in Addison. Craigies handles full auto repair on foreign and domestic vehicles. They pride themselves on providing you the best cost-effective auto repair and expert advice. Craigies has full service bays and truck lifts that can service and manage your whole fleet. They also provide priority service for your business and can track each vehicle, alerting you to the repair before you need it, keeping your guys on the road. Since 1959, Craigies Mobile Service Center has thrived through 10 presidential administrations, giving you reputable, dependable, and honest auto repair. Do yourself a favor. Just go into Craigies on Lake Street in Addison. See my guy Vic. He'll set you up. Tell him Sean from Elmwood Park sent you. I approve of this message.
Did he just say, I approve of this message?
English is not his first language.
Balance of nature. Why take it? Well, we don't get enough fruits and veggies in our life. Trust me, I know, because I've been trying to provide fruits and vegetables, especially for Peyton and Eli. And you know what they do? They fight over balance of nature. When I come home, they're going to be very excited to see this new order of balance of nature. 10 servings with 6 capsules. You'll get 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies. You hear stories right here on this radio station about how people's lives have changed by taking balance of nature. And the next story could be yours, but you have to order it today. Right now, still 35% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. The offer may end at any time. So run, don't walk to your phones. And call this number. And actually, they don't have operators standing by. They're called coaches. And ask them about Dr. Howard's Health Challenge. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago. Or go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
You've heard of living trusts and how they can help protect your assets, but you may not know if a living trust is right for you. Or maybe you have questions about creating your own living trust. The fact is, almost everyone can benefit from a living trust, which can protect your assets from the court system and your loved ones from unnecessary expense and inconvenience. Learn more at a free seminar Thursday, November 7th at Papa Joe's Restaurant in Orland Park. Estate planning attorney Robert Zapolis will explain how to create your own living trust, estate planning under the new tax laws, why a will does not avoid probate, and more. Have your estate planning and living trust questions answered absolutely free. Don't miss this important seminar, Thursday evening, November 7th at 6:30 at Papa Joe's Restaurant, 145th and LaGrange Road in Orland Park. The seminar is free and a complimentary dinner is served, but you must make a reservation now. Call 708-478-1400. Call 708-478-1400. Again, 708-478-1400.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A+ rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Known best for being better, Permaseal.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, you take a lot of selfies. You'll probably be taking them at the Marmee and Amundsen game tomorrow, right?
Of course, yeah.
Also, we'll probably be taking them at Freedom Fest. We got our Freedom Fest conference tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Weston and Itasca. Yeah.
Right. Oh, what are you wearing, by the way?
You're going to send a body double to one?
No. I'm just gonna. You're gonna help me out there, partner.
Right.
I'm not hanging around to introduce you. No offense.
No, none taken. You want to know some tips though on taking better pictures? I mean, being more photogenic in the pictures that you take of you or that other people take of you.
Yeah.
By the way, you know what Sebastian Maniscalco calls a selfie?
What?
He calls it a lonely. I love that.
Oh, that's
so
good.
lonely. You can't find somebody to take a picture of you with
And
these
you're
selfies.
really lonely.
I like it.
They call it a selfie. I can't even say the word without sweating. I can't stand the word. I call it taking a lonely. Do you know how alone you gotta be? That you can't find anybody to take a photo?
I didn't have the Italian accent quite, but I got the gist of it pretty good.
And I'm not repeating anything.
Maniscalco that guy's hilarious.
great.
Arlington Heights. All right, so here's some tips for taking better portraits. You know this because you're always telling me like how to do this.
Well, you
so
got to go up high.
I
'Cause
don't
if
look
you go down
morbidly
low, you have a double
obese.
chin. If you go up high, and you have to make sure the lighting's correct.
If
and-
you're of a certain age, you do.
Oh, what do you mean? Well, wow.
I'm just saying.
That's so
dig. Consider here, this some tips. Getpocket.com. Some tips. Dan Solomon is a man who lives in Austin with his wife and his dog, so he knows what he's talking about.
Uh-huh.
That's his credential. Consider the whole face. But here's the thing. Here's the secret. One word. The secret to it all.
Yeah. Everybody, listen.
What do you
close.
think it is? You know, you've been in
Arm length.
You've been on the runway and on NBC5 and the whole thing. Glam shots, modeling.
I was never a runway
You
model.
did a tour in Milan.
Sure I did.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I had legs for days.
The word.
Everybody wanted a piece of me. That sounded bad.
Squinching.
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 Oh. Wait, what do you mean?
No, you're not doing it right. No. No. You
Wait,
look
like
like
this?
Meg Ryan after the botched plastic surgery.
Wow.
No. It's like you
what do you do?
shrink your face a little bit.
Oh.
It's like squinting, but squinting for your whole face. You
Ew.
squinch it in a little bit.
That's what you're supposed to do?
That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
You Botox those wrinkles out. You don't want to create
They
them.
look more confident and cooler. And if their jawline's not out, then it doesn't give them any definition around their face, so it really doesn't help them out in any way. You have to get that jawline out first, and that's what the squinching does. Underwear Academy. Yeah, squinching. Also, you do have a good side. You do have a good side,
You do.
so find it.
Okay.
Yeah. Squinching and find your good side. Those are my tips from Dan Solomon in Austin with his wife and his dog. To take better lonelies.
Thanks for making us part of your work week, Justin Kosick, and to Quinn McCarthy, who is the selfie expert. Now let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Halloween sees a record-breaking snowfall in Chicago, and a 7-year-old girl shot while trick-or-treating. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
Wow, a blowout jobs number.